Sweet, we should be good to go here. So, I have the roll 20 pulled up on the page where you guys are all on the boat because I didn't have the map of Aegis pulled up on the stream, but you are not on the boat quite yet. Just one second and we'll be ready to go. There we go. Now, if you're looking at the stream, you should be able to see where we left off. So, do you guys remember what happened last time? It was kind of a slow, not super exciting episode. We just did a little bit of shopping and rest. But if anyone wants to recap a little bit, that would be awesome.
You want to take a go this time if you're good, or shall I go?
You go for it.
All right. So basically, we came back and then we just told everyone about all the stuff that happened and how we lost Darrow. And then once we got that all sorted out, we went and bought some stuff. We laughed at the little wizard dude and his wares and his magic bowl that cost more than half of the other inventory.
Yeah.
But we decided to give him a chance, and we decided to put him in our party for the next adventure.
Right.
And I think that's where we left off.
Pretty much, yeah. You got all the major points of it. So let me just explain to Pickle really quickly. So did you read the little campaign recap that I sent you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so the Elder Council is kind of like this group that's been assembled in the post-apocalyptic world that's all kind of agents of Istis working under the kind of artificer Adam Tweed, who has kind of collected everybody here. And they're a group of NPCs that you guys as a party, like for each adventure that you go on, you can bring a different one of them with you, if that makes sense. Just as kind of like a DM, PC, and an extra party member. So last session, we introduced a new NPC, Mac, who's a little dwarf wizard kind of shopkeep guy who sells like really janky magic items. And they chose to take him on the adventure this week, and he's like a level 6 wizard, so same level as the party and everything. So where you guys left off, you ended your little shopping spree in the market here in the lower left corner of Aegis on your screen. And as you were walking back towards the inn, if you remember, right at the end, the sky kind of split open and this golden beam of light like lasered down into the middle of the town square. And you saw two beings kind of like floating down, and then we ended it right there. So where we'll pick up today, Chad and Chewy and Mac following short behind you, you all get blasted away and you're knocked over about 10 feet away from the center obelisk in the middle of town there, and you see these two beings kind of slowly float down into the center of town. And the first one that you see as they kind of materialize and you wipe your eyes away and you're not blinded by this giant beam of light anymore, and it kind of recedes. You see this purple tiefling woman who's like super ragged looking with these robes that are all tattered and looks like she's just been through hell. And she kind of lifts herself up and looks around and then looks at the person that she was traveling with through this beam and helps him up. And you see this man stand up, and he doesn't look like a normal human. He's got like much more of this like magical glow to him, and I believe silver hair. Was that right, Pickle?
Yeah, that's right.
You see this, and anyone that would recognize him would recognize him as like an Asimar, which is kind of a celestial touched being. And the tiefling runs over and helps you up, Chad, and grabs you, and you recognize this to be Rabble, the person that originally helped teleport all of you to Onhef.
Whoa, are you here to take us out of this junk dimension? This place blows.
She helps you up really quick and turns to you, Chewy. And Chewy, you remember the Rabble was also the person that took you away from the monastery where you were kind of helping your father, and she called on you to help with this quest as well. and Rabble says, "Unfortunately, I wish that we were all leaving this place, Chad, but it is good to see you again after all this time. I hope that everything has been okay. I see that we're missing a couple of friends."
It's not okay. There's a giant lich out there. He's plotting to destroy the entire world. It's really bad. We have to get out of here or kill him. Can you help in either?
She says, "Well, I hope that that's kind of my plan here is the latter of those two. We do definitely have to kill him." And she kind of pulls forth the man that she brought to you, and she says, "This is the last of my mission to appease Istis, the person that gave me my powers, which now I imagine will no longer be with me." And she explains that she was given these like warlock powers by Istis to go out and complete this mission to bring the fated ones to on Hef, and she brings forth the guy that she was traveling with, and she says, "This is the last one of you." And she said that I had to collect all of you to help to stop the lich, and that I would be useful elsewhere afterwards. So, and as she's explaining all this to you, you see all of the people that were in the inn, Adam Tweed and Vex, and everyone from the council runs out, and they kind of like saw that giant beam of light come out and were curious about what it was. And Mac stands up, and they're all like, "What in the world was that?" And she slowly kind of sees that there's a ton of people here and figures out that this is a little bit of a safe place, and relaxes her guard a little bit and explains to you everything. And right there is where we will craft the brand new player Deacon, who is the person traveling with Rabble and the last of the chosen to join the Elder Council. So Pickle Deer shall be playing our new character Deacon. I'm super excited for it. And let's pull up the character Mancer on screen here. Let me see really quick.
Huzzah.
Cool. So I will just run through this. If you can see on the stream screen, Pickle.
Yep.
So we'll just use the character Mancer. I think it's pretty super user friendly and easy. Should have everything that we need. So, Deacon, if you would like to give everybody just like the quick, one paragraph rundown on who he is and the backstory and what kind of character class he is and all that, and then we can get into the details once we craft him here.
Sure. So he is an Azamar celestial warlock.
Heck yeah.
He used to be a preacher in a small backwoods town. Not that he was a very good one. He was an alcoholic and a gambler, and ended up being in debt to a loan shark. And the only way out for him was to do some favors. And one of those favors was to harass a local villager who was also in debt.
Makes sense.
Yeah, sure. But as he was kind of strong-arming this poor villager, his wife and kid showed up, and Deacon recognized them from his church. So he left and got rip-roaring drunk and decided the best way out of his predicament was to fake his own death.
As one does.
Yeah, that's generally the best option.
Right.
So he decided the best way to do that would be to burn the church down, and people could assume that he was inside and Obviously, no one would suspect him of purposefully burning his own church down. And it's not like he was going to be able to continue being a preacher if he was starting the new life. So it just kind of made sense in his drunken stupor.
Sure.
Unfortunately for him, he did not realize that the young boy of the son of the guy who he was strong arming earlier had gone to the church to pray and to uh, ask for forgiveness for his father, and was hoping to run into Deacon, but was unfortunately trapped inside the church when Deacon set it on fire. And so once he found out about this and went back to the loan shark, the loan shark was very happy because the father, having found out that his son had died tragically, had been more than happy to pay his debt. So the loan shark was very, very happy, which made Deacon very, very angry.
Right.
And normally an Azamar will have an angelic guide, and they can create like these ethereal wings and do all kinds of radiant damage.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, in that moment, Deacon's rage caused him to fall and become a fallen Azamar. And so he has skeletal wings now. And just as he was about to unleash his fury on the loan shark, Rabble showed up and snatched him up.
Awesome. That leads us right into where we are now. That is really cool. Thank you so much for coming up with that backstory. I think it's great, and super excited to see the hopefully redemption path of Deacon throughout the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So let's go for it here. Choose a race. We're gonna go with ASMR and alignment. You had like true neutral in mind. Was that right?
Yeah, true neutral.
Okay. Let's see. Hopefully it will let us pick.
Probably neutral good originally, and then
Sure, yeah.
more neutral now.
And for anyone watching, or for anyone that doesn't know about the ASMR, they're kind of like what the tiefling are to devils. Kind of the devil cursed race that either some lore says that they came from devils, or some say that they were like humans that were cursed by devils. ASMR are kind of the same with celestials. Like there's something in their bloodline that ties them to like the celestial realm. So often they have like this lawful good bent to them, and they're guided by some type of angelic or celestial being. So Deacon kind of going on this like drunken rampage and trying to get revenge, lost contact with his like angelic guide and turned him into this fallen Aasimar, and now he was picked up by Rabble and given celestial warlock powers by Istis in order to hopefully help save him, and so he could help save on Hef with you guys. So I think that's a really, really cool character idea. All right, subrace fallen Aasimar and class warlock. Get all the easy stuff out of the way. Okay, so as a warlock, you get to choose 2 skill proficiencies. What would you like to go with?
Oh, I think skill proficiencies was the one thing I didn't prepare ahead of
That's
time.
totally okay. If you look on the
Arcana-
screen, you can
Arcana
see them.
prefer.
Okay.
And then probably do intimidation.
Okay, I like that.
I think that's definitely his bag.
Makes sense. And all right, you get to choose the patron. That's going to be Celestial. And let's see. So that gives you, I'll just run through everything just for anyone that's watching that's interested in this subclass. All of the stuff that you get when you choose this. So at first level, when you choose the Celestial Patron, you get a bonus cantrip. You learn Light and Sacred Flame. They count as Warlock cantrips for you, but they don't count against your number of cantrips known. That's actually pretty sweet. Like, just always having Light and Sacred Flame is pretty useful. And then the kind of the hallmark ability of the Celestial class at low levels is Healing Light, which at first level you gain the ability to channel celestial energy to heal wounds. You have a pool of d6s that you can spend, kind of like the pool of Bard, like inspiration die. And the number of dice in the pool is 1 plus your Warlock level, so always at least 2. And as a bonus action, you can use them to heal a creature with spending dice from the pool. That's a simplified version of that, but super cool ability. I really like that they made this kind of like healer-ish type Warlock class. Still, it's a Warlock. It's very good at dishing out damage, you know, like you're always going to have Eldritch Blast and all that good stuff, but you do have some really good healing tools as well.
Yeah, I love that it's at range and a bonus action, so it's basically like a quasi healing word.
Absolutely, yeah. As a Celestial Warlock, do you get options from any of the like cleric spells?
Yeah, the spell list, the bonus spell list, most of those are cleric spells.
That's really cool. All right, ability score method. Did you have any preference for how you wanted to do yours?
I
I think everyone else has either done the standard array or point by, but if you want to roll for it, you can. But it's up to you.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
I can just do standard array. That's fine.
Okay. So you have an 8, a 10, a 12, a 13, a 14, and a 15 to distribute however you so choose.
All right. Well, the 15's gotta be charisma.
Yeah, for sure.
Could do. Let's probably do wisdom as the. No, let's do intelligence as the dump.
Okay.
Do 14 for con.
Makes sense.
13 for dex.
So you got a 10 and a 12 for strength and wisdom.
Actually, let's do the 12 for dex, 13 for strength.
Okay.
And then 10 for wisdom.
Makes sense. Cool.
Just because we're getting a +1 from the fallen Azamar, so.
For your strength.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. And your background, I think you told me, but I don't quite remember.
Hermit.
Hermit. Cool. So, choosing the Hermit, you automatically gain proficiency in medicine and religion. Makes a lot of sense as a former preacher.
Yep.
Proficiency in the herbalism kit, and you get 1 extra bonus language.
Yeah, so he already has Celestial.
Yep.
I don't know, is there anything that's relevant to Istis or the campaign in general?
Celestial actually, like the language of kind of a lot of the fate books and ancient tomes and stuff like that are going to be in Celestial in this world. The other ones that may come up, there are several races of elves and dwarves, and then let's see, I guess Chad is a dragonborn and Chewie is bugbear, so goblin potentially.
Maybe do dwarvish.
Sure.
I could see there being a dwarvish blacksmith or something in the village he's from. So.
Sure. And the Elder Council NPC party member for you guys for this adventure, Mac, is a dwarf, so maybe there could be some funny stuff going on there. Do you want to choose any of these personality traits? I can just leave these open and you can fill them in at your
we'll probably come back
free time. Start with the equipment here. I do have some magic items for you to start with that we talked about earlier. We'll just start with the starting class equipment here, if that's cool with you.
Sure.
So you get to choose a light crossbow and bolts or any simple weapon.
Let's do quarterstaff.
Cool. Component pouch or arcane focus.
Arcane focus.
Scholar's pack, Dungeoneer's pack.
Dungeoneer's pack.
Good choice. And another simple weapon of your choosing there.
I mean, we already have a couple of daggers, I think, but let's throw in another dagger.
Cool.
Let's kid out a little bit.
All right. And you get to choose your spells. So after we get to do all this, we'll actually like level up your character to the proper level as well. So you will get to choose a lot more spells and whatnot. So you start with Light and Sacred Flame from your subclass, but you get to choose 2 more cantrips.
Eldritch Blast.
Gotta take that one.
Yeah, everybody does that one.
And I'm going to do Minor Illusion for the second.
Sure. Pretty handy. And 2 first level spells.
Cure Wounds and Hex.
Cure Wounds. Man, Cure Wounds. That's super sweet for a warlock.
Yeah.
And Hex, of course. Always good. Flaming Ice in the chat says, you guys all got these deep stories, and the best I can think of is I'm a human bard named Gabe, and I do shows. That's good enough, man.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. All right. So that, do you have an age or height, any of that stuff thought of for a deacon?
Mid 40s.
45 for now. You can change all this stuff later.
Grandpa!
And it's probably like 6'1" or 6'2".
Cool. 1 second.
Hey, shorty.
6'1", same as me. All right, I'll let you fill all that in, and I think that should be everything we need just to get started, and then we can go into the level up menu here. There we go.
Where the real fun starts.
Exactly. Especially as a warlock, you get so many cool things. So we will go all the way up to level 6 here. Do you want to roll for your HP or take the average for each level? Totally up to you. Okay. That is going to set you right at 45 at level 6. Not bad at all. You're going to get quite a few features that I think it should take us through here. So starting at 3rd level, you get Necrotic Shroud, which is that ability that unleashes your ASMR kind of ancestry, and yours will be the Fallen Necrotic Shroud that releases those skeletal wings and the dark energy and all that cool stuff. You get 2 Eldritch Invocations. Any idea which ones you want to pick?
I do. I think, where's my list here? This is 3rd level, right? So go ahead and do Book of Ancient Secrets.
Okay.
And then Eldritch Sight for the second. Or we can do the ritual spells.
Sure, yeah, let's do that. So for anyone out there, if you select Book of Ancient Secrets, which as a warlock you get these invocations that are just like basically bonus features every couple levels. They're super cool. They add on to what your spells can do and give you just bonus abilities that are supposed to be flavored, like your warlock patron is granting you these extra powers and stuff. So this Book of Ancient Secrets, obviously you can read it here. It gives you 2 extra first level spells that you can cast for free as rituals and all that good stuff. So let's choose those 2. I don't know where it will let me do that at. Choose 2 ritual spells. I don't know why it's not. Maybe it will bring it back up when we get to the spells page. Pact Boon. Let's go on to that part.
Tome. Back to the tome.
Okay. Choose 3 cantrips. Yeah, I think it'll bring it all up when we get to the spells section. Roll20 is weird like that sometimes.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too. If not, you can always we can always just add them. Like you can keep track of it and you can cast them. I will trust in you to keep track of your spells or whatever. Would be easier if it will let us do it on here, so hopefully it will. All right, level 4, you gain an additional invocation. One more here.
We're gonna do repelling blast.
Cool. I like that one a lot.
That's good when they have to.
Yeah, kind of give you a lot of battlefield control, especially as a healer. You know, being able to keep people away from your targets that you're trying to heal up and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, my plan is to never let anybody come near me
Nice.
in a fight at all.
It's a good idea.
Not even to heal people. I'm just staying.
Nobody touch me. At level 6, your link to the Celestial allows you to serve as a conduit for radiant energy. You have resistant to radiant damage, and when you cast a spell that deals radiant or fire damage, you can add your charisma mod to it. That's very good. All right, ability score increase. You get to do one of those. Any idea where you want those to go?
Let's see. Charisma.
Just both points?
It's just. Yeah, I don't. Everything else is even numbered, so yeah, let's just.
Right.
Charisma.
And this campaign will be going until level 10, so you will get one more ability score increase, so you will be able to get that charisma up to a 20 at some point, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
All right, spells. Here we go. Now, hopefully it should let you take... Oh my goodness, it's got all sorts of crazy characters and stuff.
So many things.
You should be able to take quite a few spells here. So you can add 5 new spells, and you can add 1 more cantrip, it looks like.
Yeah, so there should be... I guess that's not including the 3 from
The book. Yeah.
Yeah.
We will... Let me see if we can go back to the features and see if it will let us choose the 2 ritual spells. I don't know why it's not letting us do that, but did you have those in mind, what you wanted to choose for those?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have already done.
As long as you have those written down, maybe we'll be able to figure this out and add them in here later, but as long as you have them, just keep track of it and we'll still totally let you do it or whatever.
So chill touch would be the other
Okay.
cantrip.
And 5 additional spells.
Guiding bolt.
Okay.
Misty step.
Very nice. That's probably my favorite spell in the game.
Lesser restoration.
Okay.
Second level. And dispel magic. And does this have the thunder step?
All right. Think that is everything. All right, let me see. Book of Ancient Secrets. If it will let us choose those from here. We'll have to take a look at this offline and see if it will let us add those other spells. I guess we can add them in here. Do you have the names of the other spells that you wanted? Okay.
So for the cantrips, it's going to be Shillelagh.
Ooh, I don't know how to spell that.
Shillelegh.
One more time. Shill.
Elagh.
Shillelagh. Okay. Okay. And that is what school of...
Oh, that's a good question. Let me,
We can add it later. It's all good.
I got my book. It's transmutation.
Oop. Got it.
And then spare the dying.
Okay. That is
Necromancy.
cool. So these, since we're just adding them manually, they are not going to work when you like click on them in Roll20. So we'll have to like add them later. But
Okay.
these, luckily, these don't actually like change anything when you click on them in Roll20 anyways. So they're kind of just buff spells. But all right, any more cantrips?
Yeah, firebolt.
Okay. And that is evocation, right?
Yep.
Cool. I don't know why there's a gap there. Goodness, this is a mess. All right. What were the other spells that you got to choose?
The 2 ritual spells.
Right.
So I was taking Find Familiar and Identify.
That's cool. Find Familiar is Conjuration?
Probably. Yes.
And Identify. Not sure if is that Divination probably?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. That should work for now.
Yep.
All right. Thank you all for putting up with that. Looks like we got Deacon more or less complete, good enough for now. And if you in Roll20, Pickle, if you do anything with Deacon, you can click on the character in the page there and you should be able to edit it at your will whenever you log on here and all that stuff. So I said that you would have that magic item that I sent to you, the Rod of Istis, that you'll start out with. You can add that into your inventory whenever you get time. And the Rod of Istis, for everyone out there, is a magic kind of rod that gives you a +1 to all of your spell attack and damage rolls, and it also gives some pretty cool abilities that will come up at some point in the future. So I think we should be all good there. Sorry for the delay, everybody, and thanks for putting up with us building the character there. So Deacon steps forth and Rabble introduces him and says that he was chosen as the last to join by Istis, and that he would be a great help, and that his skill set would be much needed in the battle against the Lich, and that she brought him as soon as she could, and then her powers were drained from her as Istis gave her this deal to help her escape from the pit, from slavery and in the gladiator pit in Chance, and gave her the powers just as this deal to help to collect all of you and bring you here. Although Rabble is naturally a magic user, and now that she's lost her warlockdom, she's kind of just goes back to being a normal sorcerer. And Rabble kind of is super out of energy, and Tweed beckons all of you back inside the inn in Aegis, and you get the whole story that after Rabble teleported you all here, the big explosion happened when the Lich's magic went off and kind of misfired due to Istis's interference, and the world was plunged into this chaotic apocalyptic timeline, and Rabble like barely survived this explosion and had to go and find Deacon and gather him before the world just went totally into chaos. And Tweed explains that Rabble probably needs to rest, but it's still of the utmost importance that you all leave to go out on this adventure to find the next artifact of power to destroy the Lich with, and asks if there's anything else you need before you go, and to leave as quickly as you can. And now I guess taking both Mac and Deacon aboard on the journey to have a little bit extra manpower, and hopefully go find this artifact. I guess Chad and Chewie, as people that are a little bit more familiar with all this cast of characters that is kind of being thrust upon you now. Anything that you guys need to do before you go, or any questions for any of the new people here?
Yeah, hold up. Before I go and talk to Mr. Weird Guy who came from the sky, what I just remembered when you said ancient artifacts, we have that, and I also have this, and like I pull out like the dragon egg.
Sure, yeah. So if you remember
Um,
last time, you did set the primordial cube uh, on the table in front of Tweed, and he was kind of checking it out. And he said it would take him a little bit of time to decipher what it was, but it seemed to be like a great wizard spellcasting focus of some kind. And when you pull back out the dragon egg, that they remember seeing it before when Darrow had it. Tweed says, "Well, I guess we could test it out if you want, and put it inside."
Yeah, I mean, Rabble's here now, so like, why not at this point? Just shove it in.
She pipes up and says, "What is that supposed to mean?"
Well, I don't know. At this point, I feel like now, like you're looking at us for something to happen, so I'll make something happen.
So yeah, I guess you pop the dragon egg inside the cube, and immediately you start to hear like this cracking, rumbling noise inside the cube, and this glowing amethyst aura kind of emits from the cube, and then silence. And Tweed peers inside and reaches in, and immediately, like, you hear him like kind of squeal a little bit and pull his hand out, and he starts to like shake his finger, and you see a little dab of blood kind of come off the tip of his finger. And he reaches in again and like quickly grabs it, and you see him holding this little baby dragon whelpling, this little amethyst baby dragon.
What the Chad?
And
Whoa.
immediately Tweed, like, he's like holding the thing out at arm's length now because it bit him, and he like tries to hand it off to Rabble or Zadera or Vex or somebody, and he's like, "Somebody take this thing." And he starts like really like pouring over the cube now, and he's like, "This thing is amazing. It must like instantly age or bring to life whatever type of component you put inside of it." And he just like starts jotting down notes like crazy about it.
Maybe you could put a whole farm in there.
He just turns to you like, "What do you mean?"
Well, like the egg was just an egg, and then it wasn't an egg. It became a big boy egg. So then you get a farm, and then you put it in there, and then bam, now you got all the vegetables. That's some Chad geniosity right there.
Vex turns to Tweed, and he's like, "Well, he might actually kind of be right in some strange way. Like, we could try seeds and see if they grow into wheat or into flowering plants or whatever. Like, there's infinite ideas we can gain from this thing. Like, we'll have to start testing things immediately." And Zadera like pipes up and says, like, "This is unnatural, like this is dangerous. Obviously this is a powerful artifact that evil people were using. Like, we need to be careful with this thing." And they all kind of like devolve into this crazy argument, like any scientists would over some crazy new discovery.
So what are we gonna do about this little baby drag?
And I guess Vex is the one that probably grabbed it. He's the like ranger who probably wouldn't be too afraid of this thing, and he's kind of grabs it and he says, "Well, I guess it's technically all of yours if you have any ideas what you want to do with it. If you want to bring it along, you're welcome to. It might be dangerous, but your call."
I'm gonna look at the dragon in the eyes, and I want to see if it even like wants to fight. If it even has a burning fire, and not just like, oh, like I'm a screaming baby, like I didn't get my food, I'm gonna fight with you and spit on your face. No, like actual, like I want to like kill some ugly goblins and elves or whatever coming at us.
Okay, you roll insight for me.
All right, let's go.
Are you trying to
Insight.
pick a fight with a little baby dragon?
No, I'm reading into his soul. I'm looking into the soul, the
Oh, in
windows.
that case, carry on.
Yeah, I think he's trying to decipher if this thing would potentially be willing to fight with you guys.
Do I have a bonus to insight? I do.
Wow, Chad, the insightful.
We are getting a pet dragon out of this.
So you kind of look into it, and this thing was like literally hatched moments ago, and it's kind of squirreling around, and it probably is crying for some food. But with your knowledge that you guys have gained about amethyst dragons in the last weeks or so of your adventures, you know that this thing, it looks like it has a little bit of a wild temper, and it looks like a little bit of an attitude to it, and it's kind of nipping around and trying to bite at Vex and see if he's edible. And you could imagine that this thing would potentially like to get itself into some scraps, but it's still so young. It's like it'd be like bringing a baby bird to a fight at this point, you know?
Yeah, it's too young to manage.
Need to leave it behind.
Vex says, "If you'd like, it's still more than it's yours. I have no interest in owning this type of a creature, but I can watch over it for you while you're gone. Hopefully, if you're not gone too long," he says.
Yeah, take it. I mean, I think it's too young for Chad here to take care of this. But when it's ready to just bite things that aren't Chad, and I don't have to tell it to not bite Chad, and I'm ready, and then we can take him out. If we get him to that, that'll be great.
Vex says, "Well, I think for at least a few weeks, I'll be able to take care of it and help it grow. But at some point, if you want it to do that kind of stuff, you're gonna have to take it and actually train it a little, I would imagine." Speaking of that, any ideas what you want to call this little guy?
I was thinking Jupiter.
Okay.
Sparkle.
Sparkle. Cool. Vex says, "Well, I'll watch over little Jupiter Sparkle here."
Is Jupiter a he or a she?
Vex is like, he picks up the whelp and like looks at it, and he's like, I have no idea. we'll do some.
Like, does he know how to gender an amethyst dragon?
Yeah, he definitely doesn't. And he's like, looks at Tweed, and Tweed's like, maybe we have a book on it. And they're like, well, maybe it is a good idea if you guys leave this thing here. We'll research about it. It might be dangerous to take it. And Vex kind of starts to look at Tweed and think about doing some research here.
I mean, I think the really important question is, does it poop gemstones?
I am
Very good question.
I'm pretty sure in the future I will be able to give you a yes to the answer of that question. Cool. So
question.
yeah, it is a good question. I think yeah, Vex will take care of your little baby dragon that you guys have now.
Okay, cool.
Our little baby gold farm.
Yeah, no kidding.
Our little golden goose.
Pretty much.
Awesome.
So
I walk up to introduce myself to Deacon.
Cool.
Dragon stuff sorted.
How do you introduce yourself?
I just kind of walk up really straight and I don't know if I'm yeah, I guess I am a little bit taller. So I just look just straight over his head and just keep looking forward through him.
Okay.
And then right when I go to get close to him, I just shake his hand firmly and then kind of awkwardly look around because I don't know what to do. And I'm just Chad.
I walk up behind him, taller, and looking over both of them, and say hi.
So Deacon, yeah, you have this dragonborn that comes up and super awkward, doesn't even look at you and shakes your hand and screams out his own name. And then a bugbear behind that that kind of does the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm
Deacon
set.
probably would just like kind of arch an eyebrow and
Right.
We're
Yeah,
your ultimate team. We're here to save the world with you. We're the world's last hope.
Oh my god.
I'm 7 foot. I'm 7 foot 7 inches.
he gives a look over at Rabble like, this is what Istis. This is the champions that Istis gives us to save the world.
Rabble laughs at that and she looks exhausted and she's like, well, I imagine they're really, really strong fighters.
I suppose you're right.
This probably is a good time to think of this as a test of your own faith and willingness, Deacon, and see yourself as someone that these people really need right now.
True test of faith.
I think that's an understatement.
Awesome. At this point, all the introductions, first mate Phil bursts in and he says, hey, Tweed, I got the ship ready for the crew to leave. And he looks and sees that you're all in here. He's like, oh, hey, guys. And he sees Deacon and Rabble, and he's like, I guess we're having a little bit of introductions here. And he walks up, and it's this real short, portly little guy with a bald head and a big gray beard. Actually, the guy that you can see on the bottom of the map on roll 20 right now that's kind of commanding the ship there, Deacon. And he walks up, and he is another one of the people that kind of helped the crew to escape originally from the city of Chance and the island that city is on. And he comes up and extends a hand, and he talks very, very pirate-like and says, ahoy, lad, nice to make your acquaintance. I'm Phil, kind of the chauffeur of the party nowadays. I man the ship now that Darrow's gone, and the crew and I are happy to meet you, and we're all ready to embark whenever you are.
I go by Deacon. It's good to meet you.
He gives you a happy little quick nod and a attempted pat on the shoulder, but he's like almost not tall enough for that, so he just kind of slaps your arm. He looks around.
I have no reason to stay here, so I'm ready whenever they are.
He looks around. He's like, I know this is confusing times, lads, and he looks at everyone. He's like, they told me we're going back to Chance for whatever godforsaken reason. I guess to find some magic item that was there and might still be there.
Chad's picking his ear right now. He's just like his guy's pinky like really in there.
And Phil's like, I understand. It's I don't make much sense of it myself, but I guess that's where we're going. I don't want to be anywhere near that place, but if that's where you need to be going, I'll be taking you there. And he heads off and heads back towards the ship. And anything else you guys need to do in the village before you embark?
Take care of Jupiter for me, and don't let him sleep in my bed. I think he's gonna make a mess.
Vex just gives you like a approving glance and a nod.
Let's see, how much gold did I have?
What's that?
I said, how much gold did I have? Because I think I only had like 5 from being a hermit.
You probably like, yeah. How much would you have had as Deacon? You know, as this preacher / alcoholic person in debt, like.
Oh yeah, not much for sure.
Whatever you think is good. As of right now, there won't be really any great opportunity for you to spend it. But when you get back, I assure you, you will have gotten some good treasure and loot and be able to spend your money and stuff.
Well, I mean, my only concern was it cost 10 gold to do the Find Familiar spell. So.
Oh, don't worry about that. Like,
okay.
I would say as either as a former warlock, like you probably have at least all of the components you need to do your spells, or at least now that you've been granted these powers by Istis, like we can just kind of hand wave the component costs of things, unless it's like you need 1,000,000 gold and 10 diamonds for something. Like then that might be a little different, but little stuff like 10 gold, not a big deal.
All right.
Cool.
Then if I didn't show up with my familiar, I will go ahead and do the ritual to have my familiar.
Cool. Yeah. Let's say that it did not come through the like planar godly portal, and now everyone kind of watches and you do this cool. How does your ritual look when you do that?
It probably largely looks like I'm doing some kind of like prayer, like, getting out the censer and burning the incense and everything.
Cool.
And then, yeah, the little owl. I mean, since the owl would be a celestial, I imagine there's the whole holy beam of light and,
Okay.
and choir of angels and all that good stuff.
Cool. So this celestial owl appears, and Pickle said if anyone in chat wants to think of a name for Deacon's familiar, he will be having this owl for a pet. So if anyone comes up with a cool nickname for the owl, then feel free.
Yeah, it looks like so far we have the suggestion of Julio.
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 Very nice.
Julio.
One that Pickle suggested earlier to me was Jimmy Talon, which I thought was really funny. So we got a lot of potential options here for the future.
Google had all sorts of bad pun names.
Awesome.
Albert Einstein.
Oh my god.
Al Pacino.
Owl Pacino. Oh my gosh.
There's some bad.
Oh, that's good.
Nice. Cool. Well, definitely let us know if you find one that you actually like, or if anyone in chat suggests something that you want to go with, then let me know. Cool. So I guess you guys are taking off on your adventure here. Pretty much at this point, just whenever you guys are ready, we'll fast forward here.
Yeah, let's get on the boat.
Cool. So now we're actually on the ship, as the map shows. You guys take the short 30-40 minute walk through the forest back from Aegis to the little cove where the ship is docked at. And as he said, Phil and the crew are all ready to rock, and you see little Kit, the child that was teleported here alongside Elder, who Rabble accidentally kind of like scooped up in the teleportation spell. Kit runs out, and right before you guys get on the boat, he runs up and he grabs you by the arm, Deacon, and you see this little maybe 10-11-year-old human kid, and he grabs you and he's like, "Hey, I know you're the new guy. I almost missed you guys. I was out helping with some work in the village, but I want you to have this. Please help take care of my friends and come back safe." And he hands you this ring, Deacon, and then he like shyly like runs back towards the village. And you can add this ring to your inventory. It's just going to be a ring of protection, so you have +1 to your AC.
Cool.
Heck yeah. And you guys are off. So you get on the ship. Phil is kind of running around all over the place, getting everything ready. The ship is all good to go. And as soon as you climb aboard, he's just like, "All right, let's get going. Let's pull this thing out." And the ship starts to run away from the dock and head out towards the sea. And at this point, you guys had already, well, at least at this point, I guess it's only Chad who was one of the survivors and escapees from the city of Chance and made it off of the island after the witch's powers were shown and all of the people were kind of zombified and turned into skeletons and undead, and the island was overrun by the witch's forces. And Phil is just like, looks over at you, Chad, like, "Man, I can't believe we have to go back here." And
Chad's just like looking into like the horizon, like going straight like towards Chance, and he's just like standing at the very front. He's just like looking blank. He's just like, "Not again." Not again. The PTSD is just getting to him now. All he imagines is just like the worst like imagination possible, just like graves everywhere, just zombies and skeletons all over the land. Even though it's not going to be exactly like that, he's just like picturing just like no grass, just all dirt, just absolutely just barren. He's terrified.
Phil kind of walks up behind Chad and can tell that Chad is thinking the same things that he is, and he looks out at the rest of the crew that's all, rigging sails and getting everything ready and hauling food back and forth and finishing the preparations while the ship is in motion now. And you can see the rest of the crew looks like super somber and not excited at all. These are all, the pirate crew of the ship that escaped Chance in the first place, that they're probably not too excited about going back either. And a few of them are like actually like noticeably grumbling and complaining about it. And we'll kind of fast forward here, unless any of you guys want to explore the ship and talk to people at all. I know you guys have done like your fair share of ship traveling here in the last couple adventures, but the ship will approach the island, and hopefully let me know if you guys can see the map and everything okay on Roll20.
Yeah.
So this was the like overworld map of the Prince of Fate Island, which is the island that's home to the city of Chance. And after maybe a week and a half or so of travel, you guys are pretty accustomed to the sea traveling life, and it goes quickly, and Phil has made that journey many times on his own, and now especially after you guys just escaped from here a few weeks prior, he knew right how to get back there pretty quickly. But pulling up, and when you see the island on the horizon, you can already see that things are off. You can see coming from the center of the island from far away on the horizon that there are just like these giant pillars and plumes of black smoke coming from the interior of the island. And Phil starts to look at you as you come over the horizon and you see everything. The crew starts to like really freak out, like, okay, we're here now, like we're actually going back. And one of the crewmen runs up to Phil and he's like, sir, I've come on behalf of the rest of the crew. And Phil says, oh, have you now? Speak up then. And the young man says, the crew has elected to tell you that none of us will be going ashore, sir. And Phil like kind of loses his temper at that and says, as long as I'm in control of the ship, I'm the one that tells you when and where you'll be going ashore. And Phil turns to the rest of the party and he says, we won't be going ashore here. We'll just be dropping you guys off, and we'll wait for you. Because I don't think I ever want to step foot on that island again. And the crewman that Phil almost laid into kind of sighs a big sigh of relief and sees that Phil was kind of just like messing with him and never intended on going ashore in the first place. And after a while, the ship gets closer to the docks where you escaped from, and you can see that the docks are just in shambles. And getting maybe within a few miles of the coast and seeing the docks that have just been totally destroyed, and all of the structures there have been burned, and you can see the coast is just completely littered with zombies and skeletons and undead rambling and shambling about, and almost like even walking into the water and just totally roaming free on the coastline. And it just looks like this apocalyptic, like zombie movie from what you guys would see it as. This just the whole coast is covered in the dead.
No!
And the coast, where on the map, if you take a look at where it says the docks, you can see that little road that kind of goes through the mountains there and then goes right to the front of the city of Chance. That is the kind of the main route. And when you guys were taken captive the first time and like walked into the city, Chad, that's the way that you guys were taken. And the dungeon that you went through to escape Chance is kind of like in that same pathway as well, in those mountains there. And
I like to think of it as the mountain, like the second one to the left of like the ship.
that's
like,
actually kind of where I was thinking, like that area as well. You kind of came out of there and then got down to the docks and escaped. And upon getting closer to the land here, Phil points out like all of the possible areas that he thought that you could make it into. Like you can just see the hordes and hordes and hordes of the undead. And Phil says, I just don't think this is a good idea. The last time we were here, we saw Commander Phillips, the Dragonborn army commander who used to be one of the guards for the city of Chance. He seemed to have survived the like lich's outbreak, and he was heading back in to try to save his men and escape. And obviously that didn't work if this is what we see now with this overrun of the undead. And Phil explains like, I really have no idea what we should do. And Mac actually steps up and he's been kind of keeping to himself and just working on his potions and his store items and whatnot throughout the journey on the ship. And Mac steps up and he's like, there is another way into Chance that may be quite a bit safer because it was already pretty low on inhabitants. When my ship of refugees escaped from Chance and made our way to Aegis, we heard stories of the wastes of Odd and how in the past there were, these tales of horrible beasts and rumblings of monsters and such there, but they seemed to be just, old wives' tales, and there was never any civilization there, so it would be much safer than trying to go through these hordes and hordes of guards and dead and patrols. I think we could probably go there and make our way straight into Chance from the east. It'd certainly be a safer place to land the ship, he says.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'd rather do that than walk through the
Maybe we did bring you for a reason after all.
Mac like beams up a little bit and he like kind of like ducks to the side and like takes a swig off of this potion really quick and puts it away, and he like beams up again and he's like, well, I'm here to help. And Phil says, well, that certainly helps me. I did not want to get my ship anywhere near that coastline with all of these monsters roaming about.
Wait a minute, what was that? Aren't you full health?
He's like, oh, this it's nothing, and he like takes a drink off of it again and puts it back in his cloak pocket. And every time he drinks off of it, you can see him like kind of like stand up straighter and beam and like look a little bit more confident. And he's like super excited about it.
How's his eyes look?
Potion.
What's that, Tui?
How's his eyes look? Spaced out?
No, he looks like extremely like focused and intense and good to go when he does this.
Is this in a potion bottle or a flask?
It's in like a little round potion bottle with like a cork on it. It looks like a potion. He's like, this is my special brew. I'm not quite ready to unveil this to the public yet, but believe me, when I do, this is gonna like fly off the shelves. And he just like puts it back in his pocket again. And Phil explains like, I think I've actually heard of the wastes of Odds, and I think we could get there in another half a day worth of sailing, and it's just right on the eastern coast of the island that you can see there on the map. And Max explains, yeah, it's pretty much just an empty desert land. Like it should just be a day or two worth of travel, relatively boring, honestly, and then we should appear at the eastern border of Chance, and as long as we have our wits about us, we should be able to get in and find Lady Rosiel and the artifact and do what we need to do and get out. Obviously, that's the plan. Who knows how it will actually go?
Yeah, well, it seems like the best course for sure, because, I mean, less people are going to even know about that place. It means less people die there, so just literally the least amount of zombies. Chad likes this.
I think
any option that doesn't involve us wading through hordes of zombies is probably a better option at this point.
Yeah.
Looks like everyone kind of looks around and they're all in agreement. The crew of the ship is like almost like cheering with their like sighs of relief at this point. They're like, oh my god, yes, thank you, little dwarf man. That is the best idea ever.
They're just like, as long as we can't see the danger.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, we're still not getting off the ship, but at least we'll be parked in like a safer spot. So they slowly, you guys make your way over to the coast here, and you will just be, if you can see where my mouse is at on the screen, the ship will kind of dock like right over here.
Groovy.
And you'll make your way over there. Let me see if I have the next. We'll just keep going with this for now. So, Chewy says BRB will be listening. Let me know when you're back. And
I'm back.
oh, cool. So, you guys get to the coast, and it seems like it is like the name is pretty accurate. The Wastes of Odds. It's just a big wasteland. It looks like the coast just goes into this kind of like muddy, sandy desert type of place, and there's these dead trees around, and then it just looks like this flat nothingness, and you can see way on the far horizon a little bit of like mountainous peaks and some actual landscape, but until then it's just this big flat, like almost salt flats type of a thing. And you see occasionally like a big boulder that's just kind of hanging out with some dead trees around it. And the ground is all like tessellated and cracked and kind of cracked into these weird patterns that looks like it's just dried salt that's kind of been dry and desolate for thousands of years. And you get off the ship, and Phil, he ferries you guys ashore on a couple of the rowboats, and you get off, and he's about to turn back and head back to the ship, and he's like, well, I guess we'll wait here as long as we can. We have enough provisions for a few weeks. I don't know how long it's going to take you guys. You should only be a couple of days at the most away from the city, but obviously who knows what type of shape that's in at this point. Is there anything you guys need us to do here?
Not really, other than just hide.
Don't die.
Yeah.
We will we'll try to kind of just keep the boat circling out here and safe away from the shore. Obviously we'll avoid anything if we have to, but we'll like I said, we'll wait here for as long as we need. Just after you guys get the artifact, just make your way back here if you can. If anything changes, I guess try to find a way to let us know so we can rendezvous after the mission.
If we need you, I'll send a signal. I'll shoot a bolt of fire into the air.
Phil kind of says, all right, lad, well, hopefully it doesn't come down to that, because I think the crew here is not too keen on going into the island, but we'll be here for you if you need us.
Well, I just mean if we need to rendezvous on a different part of the island or something like that.
He's like, all right,
While
understood.
you're circling around.
He gets what you're saying, and he's like, well, make sure to give us enough time. If you're in a bit of a bind and you need a lift from the other side of the island, it's going to take us quite a while to get over there, but we'll keep at the ready.
Will do.
Cool. And you guys depart. Mac is kind of like super confidently taking the lead. He beckons you all in. He's like, I've never technically been here myself, but I think I kind of know where we need to head to get back to the city. I was kind of stationed in Chance for quite a while. Luckily, I didn't have to have anything to do with that horrible gladiator pit. Hopefully you guys didn't either, he says.
We were in it. We lived it for days.
He just like wide-eyed looks at you. He's like, oh no, I I was in chance actually researching some of the magical properties of the area. I can't believe that they did that. And he just turns and he's like, "Well, we better head in. If there's anyone left alive there, we need to get there quickly, and hopefully we can find that artifact and maybe save some people in the meantime." And he heads off and kind of starts carving a path through the desert towards where he believes you guys should be going.
All right. Well, I guess we'd follow.
Mac.
What's that?
Follow Mac.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good. So as you guys follow him, you walk across this salt flats for what seems like hours and hours, and it seems like the horizon with the mountain peaks that you can see is slowly, very slowly getting slightly bigger on the horizon, and you're getting closer to it, and you turn and look towards the coast, and you can see it kind of start to get a little hazy with the sea spray, and it's getting further away and just starts to slowly become a little foggy kind of memory on the horizon, and you just find yourself in the middle of this giant flat desert. And Mac kind of stops and turns back to you guys, and he's like, "Do you guys see something over there coming towards us? Am I hallucinating something?" And as he looks, and you all kind of like it's really tricky when someone is like pointing at something super far away. If you've ever had to experience something like that, when someone's like, "Hey, do you see that thing?" and it's like miles away on the horizon, and you're trying to spot it. So I need all of you to make a investigation check for me. And you can just roll right in roll 20. Yep, cool, you got it.
Sorry about that. Investigation.
Yes, sir. Oh, you're good. Nice. We got a 7 from Chad, a 10 from Deacon, and a 16 from Chewy. So Mac kind of turns to you guys and is like, "Do you guys see that thing?" And Chewy, obviously, with nearly your 8-foot height there, you can see a little bit further on the horizon, and you see what looks like 3 or 4 shadowy figures like slowly lurching and creeping their way towards you on the horizon, like not really heading in any one direction particularly, like they're coming towards you, but they're just slowly kind of like meandering and like heading in your general direction towards you, but they seem to be like a few miles away at least. And you spot them and you confirm Mac's suspicions. What do you guys do?
So there's some boys who want to stop us. What do you boys want to do?
Just 3 of them?
You can vaguely make out, like 3 or 4 figures in the distance. They're kind of huddled together, traveling. It looks like maybe humanoid in the size and shape. Really hard to make out in the distance. It's like almost like mirage like on the horizon. It's like a hot desert, and you see some figures kind of slowly creeping your way.
So I can see 3 becoming 20 all of a sudden. What do you guys want to do?
At first, I was thinking maybe we set a trap, but then I realized we're in the middle of a desert and there's literally nothing to hide behind.
Are they in the direct path of where we want to go?
They're like the way that Mac was heading. Yeah, like they're right towards that. That's kind of how he noticed them. But when you pipe up with the trap idea, Mac says like, "Well, there are like some dead trees and boulders and stuff around here. Like maybe if we went quickly, we could try to hide behind stuff before they got here."
I was thinking maybe one person pretends to lay dead on the ground while everyone else hides. And then if they go and inspect it, then we'll all be in a position to like hit them from behind or from the sides or from all the sides, and then they're not ready.
Okay, so 1 second here.
I don't want to be the one laying down. For the simple reason I have surprise attack from behind, do an extra 2d6 damage on
that's
my first attack.
Makes a lot of sense. So you guys find yourself in this kind of like desert like situation here. If you can see on the map on the screen, try to get it centered in the stream view here. So because you were fortunate enough to pass your investigation check and spot them in time, you guys do actually have enough time to set up however you want on this map beforehand. So let's see. We're just going to use this token right here as Deacon just for now until we get your art commission finished, Deacon.
All right.
I'm sending off all of your notes and details on your art portrait today to the artist, so that should be done here in the next couple sessions. So we'll just use this token for now, just as a filler. And then this little guy, he will be little.
Tiny.
There we go. That little guy will be Mac, the dwarf wizard. And
Oops, what I step on?
yeah, of course we have big boy Chewy here and Chadwick.
The Chad Maker.
That's right. So yeah, you guys tell me where you would like to be placed, and then if someone decides that they volunteer as the bait.
Who wants to be the bait?
I mean, I'm fine with being the bait as long as you guys position yourself where like you'll be in front when the fighting actually starts.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'll tell you on the map, like we'll just make it so that they were the people you see are like coming from the north, like the top of the map, just to simplify things.
So like if you were hiding like where you were at, and like I would be on the other side of the map from where they're coming from. But that way they would have to walk past you to get to where I am.
So you're kind of thinking like these guys like hide behind the rocks right here?
Yeah.
And then you like are like laying out in the open like right there?
Sure.
Could Mac actually like fit behind that rock, like all the way to the left? If he just goes all the way to the left,
Like
hide
over
behind
here?
that rock. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So then you can kind of like sneak out. Yeah, I think it'd be good.
Think of them
Any
as like
grade
real
too.
size to the map too. Like the boulders, like they're pretty big, like giant boulders and trees and stuff like that. Like you guys can fit behind a lot of this stuff if you wanted to.
Yeah, I could easily see him kind of like squish behind it or like sit on top of that rock.
Sure.
And like,
And I'm
yeah.
thinking I would be like, I don't know how to like. Oh wait, here.
If you have an idea for
It's
like
been
this
so long.
specific square, then just let me know.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've used Roll20. Basically, back 3 spaces and to the left 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like way in the corner, so if they see you, then these guys will have plenty of time to intercept beforehand.
Right.
Okay, cool. So I know this is like a pretty unconventional way to start a battle. I really like the idea of if you were out in this big flat desert and you guys spotted people coming your ways beforehand, like this is legitimately what you would be able to do, and I think that that's a cool idea. Now, whether or not the enemy spotted you guys as well, you don't know. So it's got some cool dynamics to it. So I would like all of you to roll initiative, and Deacon, please roll a performance check for me.
How dead do you look?
I mean, am I actually playing dead, or am I just? I was thinking I was just gonna stand there and be like, "Hey guys."
You can do
That's another way.
You can do
But
that
then
too.
they might be ready. They might be ready to fight, though. That's the thing. They'll be like, if they have a brain, they'll be like disarmed when they see you. Or even if they don't, they might just be like, "Oh, dead body." If you play it good enough.
Give it a try.
Totally up to you. You don't have to play dead or whatever, but yeah, whatever you do it's your call.
I think dead or dying is like good because then they're like, "Oh, he's probably not gonna hurt us," and then all of a sudden like 3 guys come from behind.
All right, let me get my handy dandy notebook out here to track all the initiative and all that good stuff, and we'll get started. Initiatives, we got a 7 from Chad,
I'm ready.
a 12 from Deacon, and a good old 9 from Chewy. It has been a while since we've done a good old battle, so excuse me if I'm a little rusty, guys. All right, break out the dice here. Yikes.
These dice have some heft to them.
Yeah, the dice that I use are these like these like solid. I don't know if you can see them very well, like big,
like nickel or something.
Yeah, they're like pewter. I think they're super heavy duty. I really like them for playing at your home game, but on the stream, it's a intimidating thud to roll the damage with. So
I could just like hear my HP go away with like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
That's the sound of your impending doom.
Heck yeah. All right, let me get my tokens pulled up on the map here. These are kind of going to be like fairly janky tokens because of Roll20 and all that, but pay them no mind.
I love it. It looks like a dance crew. The dance squad, they're coming.
I promise you that is exactly what it is.
It's a dance-off.
Yeah.
This is their land, and they're gonna like dance anyone to death who's in their way.
That's right.
This is
So
great.
is my performance check to do the thriller dance to see if they think I'm one of them?
If it is now, if that's what you want.
That's funny.
Hell yeah, dude.
So you rolled an 11 on that. So you're like a high school kid that knows like the first part of the thriller dance, but you don't know like the whole thing. So you kind of like you get the groove going for a second, and they're like, oh man, it's like another zombie werewolf guy doing the thriller thing, and then you like totally flub it, and they're like, hey, we saw that.
So I'm like the wedding party that didn't rehearse the dance.
Exactly. Let me get the map zoomed in here a little bit better.
Yeah, but for a few seconds, the zombies like line up with you. There's like one on your left or like two on your right, and you just they're just like dancing with you. You're shuffling and like in sync, and then as soon as you flub, they're like,
And
what
then
the
I
hell?
flub the step, and they're like,
They all just like
"Dude."
stop and like look over, like they curve their necks, like, come on, man. What's up?
All right, now I think I have the full.
Like it's step pivot. What the hell, man?
All right, now we have the full battle map on the screen. I think hopefully everyone can see it on the stream there. So, as you kind of set up your defenses here and your ploy, and you see these creatures slowly get closer and closer, and you never really notice them pay any attention to you guys or notice you at all. Chad and Chewy, you're standing behind these tall rocks growing forth out of the ground, and you can kind of like every once in a while peek your head around the corner and see where these things are at coming closer, and you notice that they're kind of just shambling along, and the closer they get, you notice that they seem to be some type of undead people roaming this desert, and you can see from their clothes and their armor and weapons, they look to have like kind of disheveled and worn down like gladiator gear on, like they were killed during this like lich's onslaught where he kind of necromancy'd everybody and ripped the flesh off the people of chance and turned them into his necromantic subjects. They must have been gladiators in the pit, and they are just roaming the wasteland desert now. Maybe they are under the command of some necromantic presence, or now they're just mindless wandering zombies, but they seem to be traveling together and just kind of heading across to the south of this location that you're in now. And when they get to about this area that they're at now, this one notices and kind of lurches forward and kind of detects this life form of Deacon standing across the battlefield. Deacon, what do you actually choose to do?
Sorry, you broke up there. I didn't catch the last part.
Sorry. When they do get to where they're at now, this one steps forward and notices you across the battlefield here, and just sees that your life force is there, and notices a living being What are you doing to as the bait here?
As the bait, I'm probably playing dead.
Okay,
Like,
so
I'm probably like prop myself up enough so that I can kind of keep a watch of what's going on.
sure. So the I guess like skeleton gladiator thing is wandering, and it notices your body laying on the ground there, and it kind of gets a little curious and lets out this shambling groan, and the rest of the party kind of starts rolling after you guys, or rolling after you, Deacon, noticing you, and they slowly make their way down, and they're kind of just not really making a whole lot of progress here, and they shamble pretty close, and they slowly just keep moving forward. And you guys, like, whenever you decide to spring your trap, let me know what your plan was. They kind of are just slowly moving towards you.
I need to let them get past us so I come up behind and surprise them.
Okay. Do you want to roll stealth, Chewy?
Sure. Now, do I want to? No, but I will.
I like it.
Oh, stealth ain't as bad as I thought it was. Now I can roll good. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I thought your stealth was pretty good. Okay. So you're sneakily standing behind these rocks. They slowly make their way. This one behind is kind of like randomly wandering, not really like directly following its like leader here. It's just kind of shambling around. And the one that spotted you gets all the way like past where you guys are standing and where Mac is at, and gets within about 10 feet of Deacon, and stops and just starts to groan and kind of look. And it's just eyeing Deacon's possible corpse here, trying to see if. Oh, 1 second. Looks like Deacon may be having some audio issues. 1 second. Hey, are you back?
Yeah.
Can you hear everything okay?
So far.
Okay.
Good.
So the zombie on the map. What?
That's worse.
Oh God.
See if I...
1 second, everybody. Hey, Screw, welcome to the stream. Let me disconnect really quick and join. All right, are you still here? Can you hear me?
I can.
I can.
Nah, it's cutting in and out for me. Let me see if yeah, Discord's showing some bad lag.
Okay, we can give it a second if there's anything that you want to try to see if it will help. It might be a pain, but maybe you could use the stream audio. I'm not sure if that would work and still stay connected to Discord, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Any improvement at all? Can you hear?
Slightly.
Do you want to try to like shut down Discord and restart it?
Yeah, let me give that a shot real quick.
Sure. Yeah, no worries. This stuff happens. We have issues with Discord occasionally. Like, I didn't have any issues with it the first, couple months we did this, and then the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks, every time I turn it on, it doesn't detect my mic, and it wants to change like all of my sources and stuff like that. It's such a pain.
I've always had trouble with Discord.
Yeah, it's such a pain. I really wish that there was better options. I think that Roll20 has native like camera and voice
asked me
options. Yeah, me too. We should probably try it out someday. I'll mess with it offline to see if we could do that. I also I know that there's the webcam thing on Roll20, so in a future campaign we could actually like have all of you guys or have everyone in the party like on webcam during the stream, which would be like really helpful. Having everyone visible while they, talk about what their characters are doing and stuff would be really cool.
Yes, I agree. And then I think it'd be easier too, because then I don't have to say Chad says.
Yeah, and being able to
just let me know ahead of time, so I'll be dressed.
Like half out of bed, like bedhead, like, oh shit, you got like toothpaste in your mouth, you're like smeared all over your face, and just like, hey guys.
Man, that would be me if I didn't have to get ready for the stream and everything. So I totally understand. All right, hopefully Pickle will show back up here. Unfortunately, issues happen. How are you guys doing so far? Everything seemed to be going okay. You guys enjoying the little bit of the adventure so far? I know it kind of was a slog of dialogue and all that good stuff.
No, I had a good time, and I actually was glad that we got to visit this like one section of Chance that we never got to before, because I remembered it from before, and I was like, this area looks cool. I wonder if we'll go here. So
Sweet.
I'm excited.
Awesome. I'm glad to be able to do that as well. I've kind of designed this whole island and stuff, and I'm glad that we're getting back to it. Pickle says restarting now, listening to stream audio though. Okay, cool. So we'll give it a couple more minutes.
He's back on now, I think.
I think it's still like connecting. Oh no, I think I was here.
Yeah, I'm back. It's just still, unfortunately.
Still being pretty laggy. Are you unable to hear us?
Yeah, you're kind of cutting out every other word.
May I ask, like what like country you're from?
Yeah, I'm in the. Like it was
Oh,
doing fine.
well then that's weird. Like I don't even know.
Just
That doesn't even make any
now.
sense then. Like, cause like I was thinking, oh, maybe you're far from the Discord server and we're all close. But I'm from Canada.
Right.
Yeah, it might just be a random connection issue or something like that. I wonder if there's anything I can do on my end to help.
No, to me, Pickle is coming through a little spotty sometimes. Listening to him myself.
Yeah, you've been kind of like in and out a little bit, Pickle, as well. So I'm sure it's just like the same thing that you're experiencing on your end with us. So yeah, it must just be like some lag. I don't know.
Maybe his ISP is throttling him.
It is a definite possibility that happens, which that's okay. Like issues happen. Do you want to try to just keep playing through it, or is it impossible to like communicate? Is it super bad?
I mean, we can try. I might desperately try to close as many processes as I can.
Okay.
Might be slowing things down because it also might be like a RAM issue. But
one thing, if you
sometimes that works with Discord if you have too much going on.
Yeah,
for some reason.
one thing, if you do have like kind of spotty internet or a lot of like RAM being used up, like just close the stream for sure. If you don't have to have it open, if you have been running that in the background the whole time, like that can take up a lot of it.
Yeah, actually, I think
try that.
It's looking good right now because.
Cool. Yeah, you're
sound
good. You're coming through.
I just hit
mostly
a
clear.
couple minutes of not.
Cool. Yeah, let's try to keep going if you're cool with that. If you want to take a minute and close stuff down and make sure everything's good, that's fine too.
Yeah, I think it was some background.
Cool. Do you guys need to take a break at all? Do you want to take a water break for a few minutes?
I'm good. No, I'm good if everyone else is. To me, Pickled Deer sounds like so much clearer in the last 3 minutes.
Okay.
I'm good.
Cool. Well, we can continue on if everyone is happy. Pickle, how you thinking?
All good? It sounds a lot better now.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Still no anomalies in your voice so far, so it's really good. All right.
So the zombie gets within about 10 feet of Deacon and stops and kind of starts checking him out to see like, what is this? Is this a dead body? And it looks like it's about to lurch forward. And initiative. But you guys are going to get a surprise round here because of your daring little trap. So the first of you to get to act is actually Deacon. You see this this like gladiator armor clad skeleton kind of shambling up close to you, and you maybe lift an eye and see it on its way towards you, and you get the first chance to act here.
All right. I'm going to blast it with Eldritch Blast as the staple warlock spell.
Classic, yeah, absolutely. Can't get any better than that. Go for it.
But especially since it has repelling blast.
Repelling blast, I remember.
Yeah, Elder, you have
back away from
you
me.
have that spell, don't you, Elder?
Repelling blast?
Yeah.
It's
what it looks like.
Oh yes, I think I possibly do.
Maybe you don't. I don't know.
Let's see. I don't have repelling blast, but let's see. We can use like witch bolt. I don't know if you guys saw that on the screen there.
Yeah.
Cool.
I saw it.
And I think at this level I get 2 shots with it.
After level 5, you do. It's kind of like extra attack for martial classes, so you do get two attacks with Eldritch Blast if you want to roll twice. So that first one will hit. You can roll the second one at the same time if you would like. 1 second here. Getting all the enemy stats kind of noted down so I can run through this a little bit more quickly. Okay. So what did you roll for? Yeah, both of those are going to hit. Awesome. So roll your damage, and then on a successful hit, it blasts him, what, 10 feet back?
10 feet, yeah. Okay,
so he's like right at 10 feet away from you, so it's going to like run him, slam him right into the guy behind him.
Oh, that's not. Roll the damage.
Click on the word Eldritch Blast on the chat.
That's just throwing the attack.
Where your rolls were, there you go. Like click on Eldritch Blast in the.
I see. I got it. Cool.
There you go. Cool. So that's number 1 and number 2. Very nice. So if you guys want to target these guys or anything, that first one that he just attacked will be called like Gladiator 1. The one right above it will be 2, and then the one off to the right of the screen will be 3.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, wasn't the rod that I have...
yes, you do. You get a +1 to damage and attack rolls, so you actually did 18 total there.
I don't know if I read it right, but like, did he gain like an ability where like he does like bonus celestial damage or whatever, or radiant damage or something like that?
It's only if I actually deal celestial, or I mean,
Oh,
radiant or fire.
Okay, and then it just adds on. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless I do my necrotic shroud thing.
Yeah, that one's just like always, but that only lasts for a minute.
Yeah, it's like an activated ability.
Yeah, like my rage.
Yep,
Cool.
Exactly.
Cool. All right, I understand your character now. Sorry, I just wanted to...
I know everything about your character.
Yeah, I know.
So Deacon springs up, and the gladiator skeletons they don't really look surprised. They're still kind of shambling about, but maybe they're a little bit taken aback. And Deacon springs a couple of celestial or necrotic bolts out of his hands, and however you would like your Eldritch Blasts to look. And
I mean, I imagine they still look somewhat celestial, but I mean, they're just force damage.
Cool. So you blast him a couple times, shoot him back, and he kind of like stumbles back into his buddy there. And then it looks like Chewie, you spring your trap, and you see the action start to unfold, and you get to take your shot here.
Okay. I'm going to go for the light colored one.
So
Since it has...
The one on the top, so that'll be number 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to do...
Are you just going to move right up in range of it?
Well, I bet that stealth count for that, or...
You, like, are still being stealthy, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to move 10 feet away, like
Okay.
I can.
Are you going to try to be, like, behind it or on the side of it, or does it matter?
I'll go from behind on the...
Okay. Yeah, you have enough movement, and I think because they were kind of distracted by seeing Deacon laying there, you easily like could have snuck around behind while all of that was going down.
Okay. I'm going to do.
And as a bugbear, everybody, Chewie has 10 feet of reach on his melee attacks, so super overpowered.
So I'm going to do the staff first attack.
Okay.
And that will do an extra 2d6. Wait a minute.
Oh, because of the sneak attack.
Yeah, for the first attack. Yeah.
Okay.
One-handed. 16 hit.
It does.
Good. 6 plus, I gotta roll the 2d6 there.
Sure.
Clearly, we need to get you a reach weapon. Just
I
have you
did
hit
well.
things from across this map.
Yeah.
So 6 plus 7.
Yeah, that was the staff. That was for the staff.
So that was your first attack.
I get my. I'm gonna use my unarmed strike.
Sure.
Second. 15 hit.
It does not.
Oh, now I know what I got to hit with. Let's see here. 1 minute. See if I do.
So you see Chewie kind of sneak up behind this this unknowing gladiator skeleton, and from behind he like quickly hits it with the Serpentis, his magic quarterstaff, and then tries to follow it up with an unarmed strike, and the unarmed strike just glances off this thing's kind of like rusted out armor that seems to be sturdy enough to protect at least from one of these kind of glancing blows. Anything else, Chewie?
Well, I was trying to see what my death strike was, but I can't get to it. I was going to use it, but for some reason I can't scroll low enough. I can't see.
Death strike?
Yeah, I forgot what exactly did. I was going to use it, but I can't get to it to look at it.
I might be able to. Let's see what it... Man, you have a ton of abilities.
Yeah, the only thing I can scroll... It was working before. All I can scroll down and see is agile parry.
I've got it pulled up on my screen here. It says, Death Strike. When you hit a target with a Kensei weapon, you can spend 1 key point to cause the weapon to deal extra damage equal to your martial arts die. You can use this feature once on each of your turns. So you can use that since you hit with the quarterstaff. You just have to spend a key point and you get to roll a martial arts die and do extra damage.
I'll go ahead and wait.
Okay. Cool. So you guys see Chewie kind of sneak up and try to pull off this flurry of blows really quickly. He hits with the quarterstaff and does a little bit of damage to the skeleton, and it kind of spins around and notices that there's somebody attacking it. But still not enough time before Chad notices that the trap has been sprung, and Chad gets to spring into battle.
Chad! Chad's gonna go jump into a rage, and
Absolutely.
then I think what Chad would do in this situation would be he would kind of just like mini vault over the little stalagmite, and then he would just kind of jump over that little like mini kind of ledge cliff, and just kind of like do like a 360 spin sword slash for a headshot.
Onto number 3 there on the side.
Yeah, and since I get to attack twice since I'm past level 5, so it's like a double spin.
Sweet. So you vault over this crazy cliff thing here and just launch this attack onto this skeleton that now is like, it was kind of starting to turn and shamble over this way towards its group, hearing some action going on, and it just sees this like flying Chad jump off this cliff and come down on it with the great sword fury here. So
it's a good thing you hit, because it would have been really embarrassing to miss after all that.
Yeah, I would have just I went like all the way off to the side, just like hit the rock and just like hit my face on the ground. Just like
spinning triple attack and just chop yourself in the foot or something.
Yeah, on a surprise round too. He just has no idea.
So yeah, two hits. So roll your damage there, sir.
Awesome. All right, we got 2d6. That's 8, and then another 3 on top of that. So it's 11 plus 16.
All right, so 27 total on number 3.
Yeesh. And I
All right.
believe that's my turn.
Cool. So now Mac comes out and pops out from behind his little rock hidey place there. Let me get Mac's character sheet pulled up here. So I will show you guys really quick. Mac is a 6th level transmutation wizard who is a potion brewing type of fellow. He likes to talk at length about his profession and is a snob who looks down on those who can't appreciate his fine art. And he sells the most wonderful of magical items and potions in the world. And he's got like all sorts of crazy spells and stuff that he can do. But he's going to cast Ray of Frost. Hopefully that worked. At this first little zombie here. Seems to have missed, and Mac is going to run off and kind of stand next to Deacon down here. Hopefully not being targeted. And let's see. Now the surprise round is over, and it's over to number 3, Gladiator number 3, who was just chopped by Chad and is not super happy about it. So this thing has this kind of super messed up, broken shard of a shield, and it's got a spear that the tip of it kind of looks like it's been rusted out, and it tries to poke at Chad a couple of times here. And it's rolling so bad. 12 to hit.
Not just quite. I'm 13.
Awesome. And it will make a shield bash at you. And it rolls a 10. So it tries to pull off some sweet gladiator moves. It stabs you with its spear and tries to bash you, but it's like almost looks like it's moving in slow motion because this thing is like shambling around and being zombie-like. So it wasn't too hard for Chad to avoid this thing, and it will try to reposition itself and slowly shamble around you and try to get closer to its group, but without provoking attacks of opportunity. And it's over to Gladiator 2, the lighter colored one that was attacked from behind by Chewie, and it will spin around and try to come and attack you. And same thing, it will try to prod you with its little rusty spear. 17 to hit.
Miss.
17 misses?
Yep, I got a 19 when I have my staff in my hand.
Dang, that's pretty sweet. So a 12 definitely misses, and the shield bash. That one's going to be a 23. So he pokes you a couple times with the spear, and you quickly monk reflex dodge out of the way, and it bashes you with this like kind of broken shield. And you're going to take 12 bludgeoning damage. And what size creature are you? Are you medium? You're not large, right?
I believe I'm still considered medium.
Okay, that's right. So make a strength saving throw for me, please.
How much damage was that? 12?
12, yep. And it's just straight up regular bludgeoning damage, if that makes any difference to you.
There's my strength save.
Strength save. Oh, yeah, man, 24. Yep, you pass. He tries to knock you prone with this shield bash, and you just, like, easily shrug it off.
The reason my armor class is at 19 is because the benefit, it's called Agile Parry with the staff. I parry the...
Very nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I think that's pretty sweet if you have that AC. That's really good. No concern from me. Over to Deacon. You see your trap has kind of started to unfold, and the battlefield seems to be kind of playing out the way you thought. They got all distracted, and now your team has sprung their offense. Over to you.
All right. I'm going to actually move diagonally up and to the left in front of Mac.
Okay.
Just so that I'm not pushing this skeleton into his buddy. I'm actually going to try to push him away,
Diagonally.
far away.
Sure.
And so I'm going to go for Eldritch Blast again.
Cool.
I appreciate that. I didn't want a zombie in my face.
Cool. So with the AC of 16, now that you guys know what the AC here is, that first Eldritch Blast will hit and knock him 10 feet away diagonally and deal some damage. 5 force damage with that bonus from the Rod of Istis.
Oh, yeah, because those are plus ones.
23 total. Okay. Anything else from Sir Deacon?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Over to, let's see, Chewy.
Okay. Right, one with the staff.
Just
one.
Swinging at the same one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one with the. My hands. I keep messing with my hands.
The unarmed strikes keep glancing off of the armor, but the quarterstaff keeps finding its target.
7 damage.
You got it. On number 2 there. Cool. Anything else?
No.
It'll be Gladiator number 1's turn, and he's going to kind of step closer here and try to take a spear prod over at Chewy as well. 23. 23.
Oh, God.
And the shield bash is an 18, which misses, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so take another 2 shield or spear hits, which are going to be, I'll actually roll these for you here. 19 total.
Whoa.
How you doing over there, Chewy?
I'm going down. I'm going down quick. I got 15 out of 46 left.
Oof. So this one takes a couple stabs at you, and then it is over to Chad.
Chad's gonna try and finish this guy off with just, the casual triple attack.
Okay.
Super cash.
Just super cash. Just
casual Friday over here.
Triple stab in the stomach, your regular Chuck E. Cheese.
3 insane hits from Chadwick.
Awesome. All right, so that will be 24 plus what I roll. So it's 10 plus 10. So that's 26 plus 24.
Good Lord. Overpowered. 50 damage, yeah. On number 3. So
Die.
You just absolutely lay it on this thing, and it seems to take a bit of damage. Some of its rusted armor starts to crack open, and a couple of spare bones fly out, and it looks like it looks like it's kind of damaged, but it doesn't go down.
Holy shit. This thing's tanky, dude. It's like I did 75 damage to this guy.
I'm in trouble.
It is over to, after that, it looks like it's Mac. And Mac, he will pop out from behind Deacon, and let's see, he'll probably...
Another Ray of Frost.
He'll probably cast an actual spell at this point. He sees that you guys are in a little bit of danger. Let me pop out his spell list.
Oh, is the owl still out, or does he have to summon it again?
Oh, yeah, you still have your...
No, the owl's still out.
Your owl.
We should throw it into the initiation.
He can't actually attack.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
D&D
I can cast
familiars,
spells their own back.
unless you are the like
Oh,
specific,
I'm used to playing Neverwinter Nights, so I was like, oh, you can summon a familiar.
there's the
But,
like Pact of the Chain warlocks that can do a little bit more extra stuff with their familiars, but familiars in D&D are mostly like conduits for spellcasting. They can't do a whole lot of
yeah, like
attacking.
an amplifier of sorts.
Yeah, they're still
Yeah,
pretty cool. So, let's see here. Let me read one of Mac's spells really quickly.
Speaking of which, I think we're supposed to do initiative for the owl, unless you want to just say the owl goes on my initiative.
Oh, okay, my bad. So yeah, for this one, it can be on your initiative, but in the future, we can roll for it as well. Just whenever you roll, if you want to roll for your Albert Einstein or whatever his name will be.
Yeah.
Julio.
Yeah.
Julio.
Okay, so let me just make sure that this area is not too small for this. Five, 10, 15, 20. So Mac is actually gonna like position himself a little bit further back here, and he will. Let me see if I can. How big this will be.
Oh dear.
He's gonna fire off a fireball. I think if I go like in this point over here, 5, 10, 15,
Like,
20.
Behind the orange guy, it should make like a square, right? Or
It's a 20-foot radius
It's like a
circle.
20-foot
It's
radius.
very
Oh.
it's very big.
well, yeah,
Very
yeah. If you shoot in
large.
the center, then
Yeah.
maybe.
I think if he like shoots it over here, I can kind of like get a circle with only these guys in it. We'll assume that Mac is a better fireball shaper than I am, and he's gonna launch a fireball at them. And let's see, they have to make a dex saving throw. Let's see how good the old skeleton dex is.
They're gladiator skeletons. Though.
They have some dex. It's not the best. It's not the worst. So, gladiator, let's say G1. Gladiator 1 rolls a fail. 2 rolls. Oh, that might actually do it there. Max spell save DC is
27.
it's actually not very good. It's 14, and this thing rolled a 16. So Gladiator 1, the one that already looks like it's kind of burnt to a crisp, will take a fireball, and number 2 will take a half a fireball, which is what, 8d6 or something like that.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like
that sounds right.
Fireball, super overpowered. All right, so boom, boom. Let me see if that worked. 7 and that didn't work at all. I have some weird settings pulled up there. There we go. So 30 total. So the one on the right takes 30. The one on the left takes 15. And Mac will be finished after that. The one on the right that took the full fireball damage, like, looks like it's same thing as Chad's gladiator skeleton. It looks like it's crumbling a little bit, but still not totally destroyed. And after Mac, it's over to Gladiator 2 that will try to poke at Chewie again.
Just don't die, Chewie. I can get you back healed, but
14.
don't die.
10 in the shield bash. 17. Got away with that one. Very luckily. And it's back up to the top of the round, which is going to be Gladiator 3 here. Kind of try to stab at Chad after moving to the corner there. Slowly trying to creep towards its party. It sees the rest of its group is trying to take down this giant foe, but it's also not trying to get surprise attacked by Chad here. So try to poke
Where
at
you going?
26 to hit on that one.
Damn,
19.
25 armor.
And shield bash is going to be a 25. Okay, hits with everything.
Yay.
See how this goes. So
Ouch.
for your spear attacks, Chad, you're going to take 16 piercing damage, so 8, I guess. You're in rage.
Yeah.
And then another 4 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then the shield bash will be 5 bludgeoning total.
Damn.
And make a strength saving throw, please. When you're hit with the shield, it tries to knock you over.
No.
27. Oh my goodness. All right. Yep. You actually almost like knock it over with.
I was
your...
like, rip the shield off. My shield.
Yep. You totally save from that, and it is complete for its turn. And Chad, it's over to you. No, Deacon, you're back to you.
All right, let's keep Chewie from dying since he's distracting these from keeping them from attacking me. So
Makes sense.
I think the healing light thing, I can use my charisma modifier worth of dice at one time. Is that right?
I believe it's something like that. We can
Like I get
check for
70
sure.
Healing light. Get 1d6.
The number of dice in the pool equals 1 plus your warlock level, so you have 7 dice in the pool, and you can use it.
The bonus action.
The number of dice you can spend at once is equal to your charisma modifier, yeah. So you can use up to 4 at one time.
Oh, that's sick.
Alright, so let's go ahead and...
So that's what, 4d6 that you can spend?
Yeah.
That's really
60 feet
not
range,
bad at
I
all.
think.
That's like a better heal than any of the healing spells.
Yeah, that's the best heal I've ever heard. That's insane.
Sweet, 13. So Chewie, you get a nice 13 added back onto your HP there. Are you still around,
You're
Chewie?
still kind of hurting, right?
Yeah, I'm 28 out of 46.
A little
So
bit better off.
I'm better than halfway now.
Yeah, and that one guy's almost dead. We can
Yeah, I think
crumble him in a turn or two.
I could always run too.
Yeah, once I kill my guy, I'm just gonna run and try and steal the aggro if I can.
Well, let's go ahead and use Cure Wounds. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ready my action to cast Cure Wounds through my familiar when he gets within range of Chewie.
Okay.
Oh,
And then
that's cool.
for the familiar's turn, he's going to fly over to Chewie and channel the spell and then fly back.
Let me find a token for your owl friend there. I like
That's
that.
Cool.
That is a cool idea. I like the familiars in this game. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's sick.
Because the nice thing about the flyby attack or the owls, is that they have flyby attacks, so they don't provoke attack of op when they leave.
Right. That's pretty
really
awesome.
Out of the squares.
Dad is coming.
Would you prefer a brown owl or a white owl?
White owl?
I was thinking white owl.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your name, Snowy.
Julio.
So let me just add this so we can save it for next time, so it will remain in my folder of tokens to use in case we have to summon the owl again. So,
and I think all my spell slots are 3 right now, like level 3.
Yeah, that sounds correct. So the owl, it's gonna just like fly straight up right next to Chewie, correct?
Yeah.
Cool. And total combined cure wounds, is that 21?
Yeah, I guess.
The total from the spell is 12, and then when you like upcast it, it adds that higher level cast bonus onto it there, you can see. So 21 total. Pretty big boost there, Chewie. You should be back to
I'm maxed again.
Yeah, that's one turn of healing.
Celestial Warlock's super good. I like that a lot.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought it was gonna be a cleric. I didn't think it was gonna be a warlock.
Eat your heart out, clerics.
Very cool. So the
Better
owl
cleric than the
flies
cleric.
by, and
Honestly.
you see Deacon's celestial power get channeled through his familiar, and Chewie just gets this like celestial strength imbued into him, and it is over to
And then the
Chewie's turn.
familiar flies back to me.
Nice, very nice. And it will do so without provoking any attacks.
Yep.
Yeah, Chewie, back to you.
So good.
Okay.
You got these two gladiators staring you down. Both have been lightly charred from Mac's fireball.
Okay.
You smell like marshmallows and like burning flesh.
I was reading the Death Strike. When you hit a target with a kid, cause
You're cutting out there a little bit. What was that?
it's the
Oh,
Death
thank God
Strike.
it wasn't me.
When you
I
hit
was
a
like, no,
target
it's happening again.
with a Kinsey weapon, you can spend 1 key point to cause the weapon to deal extra damage to
Yep.
the target.
Yep.
It doesn't say I have to say I'm using it till after.
Correct. If you hit and do damage, then you can choose to spend a key point and like imagine like if you hit something with your quarterstaff, then when it connects, you can like channel a little bit of extra force into that attack and do some extra damage.
Well, if I hit, that's what I'm going to do. It's going to come up with the damage. I hope. See if I got this right.
Cool.
The staff. We'll see.
So which one are you attacking here?
The white one.
Okay.
So 24 hit.
Oh yeah, for sure. 16 AC.
Let's see if it does the death damage. Yep.
Nice, it did.
All right. So then I'm going to do the unarmed strike, one strike, then also do flurry of blows.
Nice. Here we go. The full monk specialty here.
Well, I got a hit first. Oh man!
Swing and a miss. These guys do not like being punched for whatever reason, and
I guess they just got the best shields in the world for punches.
They like
Yeah,
cannot block a staff to save their life, but a punch, they're like, no, not gonna happen.
Oh, okay. I'm done.
All right. Over to it looks like
Chad.
it's actually Gladiator 1 and then Chad. So Chad, be thinking of what you would like to do, as this gladiator likes to stab Chewie.
I still just see them dancing.
I'm telling you.
17 shield bash. 18. All misses.
Yeah, you gotta get 19 or higher.
All right. Over to Chad.
Chad. Chad's just gonna go for another triple. You're not escaping that easy. I see you trying to inch away. Huh, ha, huh.
Oh my god. 2 nat 20s.
Oh wow. He's dead. Gotta be dead.
That's
Do I even roll, or do we just explode him into bone dust?
that if that's what you want to happen, that's what happens.
Yeah, I want to explode him into bone dust, and then like some of his extra bones go flying out across the battlefield.
And you see like in this like perfect moment, one like leg bone is just like spinning in air and then lands on the ground and like poofs, and he's just like total ash and bone and dust and destroyed, and there's just a pile with his like janky shield that's been totally ripped in half now, and like a helmet and nothing left.
That's great. Can I move as well?
You can.
All right, I'll move as close as I can to underneath the charred guy.
Sure. How much movement do you have? Like 35?
40.
40? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40. Boom.
Yeah, that's where I stand. So yeah, so that probably provokes an attack though.
You only provoke an attack of opportunity if you're in their range and you try to move out of it.
Okay.
So you're good. As long as you're still in its range, you can like move all the way around it in a circle.
I can step into the water. I just can't step out.
Exactly.
We also have them flanked now.
Correct. So now they are being flanked, so you will get advantage on attacks to those things.
That's my turn.
Chad is finished. It's over to Mac. Mac's gonna run up and kind of get on the side, and he's gonna fire off another ray of frost at the dude over here. See how this works. I guess it's flanked. I guess he's flanked, so maybe it hits. Let's see how much damage he does.
Yeah.
7 cold damage. That's fine. He's shooting at number 1 here, so.
Yeah.
Cool. Over to number 2. And number 2, seeing that Chad is coming in to try to like pull something, he turns around and tries to jab at Chad with the spear. Nat 20, 18, and a shield bash of 15.
Yeah.
All right.
All 3 hits.
Give it to me.
So the nat 20 is going to do 4d8 plus 4.
Oh man.
Let's hope for a 40.
So that's going to be 20, so divided in half, 10, and then 2d8 plus 4. It's going to be 6, so another 3 damage to you. And then the shield bash is going to be 6 damage as well, and then make a strength save.
Okay. A low roll.
16. You still save against that. It's a 15 that you have to make to not be knocked prone, so you are good, other than the damage there.
Other than the complete beating I just took.
And it is back to, let's see, Gladiator 3 is destroyed. So, Deacon.
So, how you feeling over there, Chad?
I'm alright, actually. I'm pretty confident for this battle. There's only 2 skeletons left. One's gonna die. And I'm at like 31 out of like 59, so I'm chilling.
Alright. So which of the 2 looks worse?
The burnt one, the crispy.
Yeah, certainly the one that's directly above Chad seems to be shambling a little bit more solemnly and seeming a little bit worse for wear.
He's looking more away from the battlefield and onto the horizon.
Yeah, he's like preparing for the next phase of his life.
Here's one life.
He had reconsidered the options.
It's like, man, this 12-step program is not working out for me.
Alright, so I'm gonna try Firebolt on him.
Sweet.
And let's see, it's plus. I was doing +7, but then it's actually +8 from
the Rod of Istis. Yes, correct.
Alright. So 21 to hit.
Absolutely.
And it's going to do 2d10 plus 4 because it's fire damage, and I add my charisma modifier. So
Wow.
14.
So plus an additional 1 from the Rod, so 15.
Oh yeah, plus the Rod.
15. That's pretty good. 2d10 plus 4 is kind of insane for that's a cantrip, right?
Yep.
That's nuts. That's awesome. So a 15 over to number 1, and it starts to look pretty rough. It's shambling a little bit. Maybe one of its foot bones pops off.
And that's fire damage in case it matters. But...
let me actually check it. It potentially
Probably doesn't.
It does, but maybe not. We'll see. It doesn't look like they have any sort of damage resistances or weaknesses or anything like that.
Okay.
Just strong old gladiator boys, and it's over to Chewy.
Alright. I am going to try the staff again.
Okay.
19.
That's a hit. Oh, and you actually have advantage, so it's a 23 to hit, so still hits.
I'm doing my unarmed strike.
Cool. Papa Hell, welcome to the stream, buddy.
Jeez. I cannot hit with my fist whatsoever.
Chewy, like spending so many weeks on the boat, your synchronization's all out of whack and you can't punch or something. But yeah, nine from the staff will definitely hit, and that was on number 2 again, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else from Chewie there?
No, that's it.
Okay. And now the first of the 2 will attack, and it'll take a stab at Chad there. 21 to hit, 8 to hit, and the shield bash with a 11.
All right, just the 21.
Just the 21. Okay. 2d8 plus 4, so 7 divided by 2. So take 4.
Okay.
And it's over to Chad.
All right. Chadicus is going to go for. I'm gonna hit 2 strikes on Mr. Charred Boy and 1 strike on the Clean Boy.
Okay.
Clean boy.
Like it.
He just got his bones cleaned.
Yeah.
They were
Oh,
bleached.
and I guess those are the first round attacks, but I have advantage.
Correct. Yeah, you can roll them all again.
This will be the second round for first 2 are on the guy and then the Clean Boy.
Hit, miss, hit. Okay, so you hit 1 on each.
All right. Good. That was the plan. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
I believe you.
The plan. So that is 11 plus 6, so 17 plus 16 for the charred guy.
Okay.
And for
Wait,
the non-charred,
what's your plus 16 from?
that's from my rage plus the Elder Steel.
But that would be for 2 attacks hitting, right? It's only plus 8 for 1. Is that correct?
I was hitting 2 on the charred boy and 1 on the clean boy.
Right, but only one of them hit on each guy, right?
Oh, so one of them missed twice.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard that wrong. That's my bad. Okay, yeah. So then he would just take the lower ones, like the 16, plus. It would be. Okay, let me go back to the numbers. So yeah, it would be. We'll just do the lower one, and it'll be 6 plus 8.
Okay, so 14.
Mm-hmm.
And
then we'll do the other one, which will be 4 plus 8.
Cool.
There we go. My bad.
Nope, you're good. All right. The first guy, the one on the right, is like crackling apart, and he drops the arm. The like skeletal arm that's holding up his shield just crumbles into dust on the ground, and he's like trying to pick up his spear in the other arm and like jab it forward, and he's starting to move real slow. And it's going to be over to Mac's turn, who's going to try to fire off another ray of frost on that guy. Actually hits and does another 7.
You sound so surprised.
I tried to like build my NPC characters to be like fun and funny characters and not to be overpowered like in combat, because I definitely like I spend enough time like poring over this game. I could build an overpowered level 6 character. Mac is definitely not that character.
That makes a lot of sense. Just make a character that's just for jokes.
Yeah,
and fun.
And he's solid, you know. Like if a new player made a level 6 dwarf wizard, it would be this guy. He's not bad, but definitely could be better. But good enough. Cool. So he fires off a ray of frost. Doesn't quite finish off the first gladiator there, but he's getting there. And it's over to the gladiator number 2, who will turn around, and he doesn't like getting hit by that quarterstaff so many times, so he's going to try to swipe at Chewie again. 16, that'll miss. Nat 1, and a shield bash with a 19 exactly. All right. So take 2d8 d4 plus 4, so 9, and make a strength save, please.
Okay. Ooh.
Fail, so you are knocked prone.
Let me see something real quick.
And
nope.
That's
I was just looking at. I was just looking at the powerful build that doesn't have enough. So.
oh, to see if there was anything against being knocked prone or whatever.
Yeah, but nope.
Yeah, there might be.
Cool. So you are knocked prone, and everyone, you notice like this thing shield bashes Chewie, and it seems to like do a decent amount of damage. It does a little bit, you know. Chewie kind of recoils and gets knocked over, and Chewie, when you land on the ground, you at the same time you guys hear this low rumble underground, and it starts like slowly, and it seems like it's from really far away, and it's like this almost like earthquake, like tremor type of feeling, and it's like this shaking, rumbling, like the ground shakes a little bit, and then it stops. And it's like almost at the exact time Chewie lands, and Mac looks over and he's like, "Damn, that's you landed hard there, big boy." And then he turns around and he's like, "That was that you? That was you, right? That was weird, guys. Did you guys feel that?" And then he like goes back to the heat of the battle, and it's over to Deacon.
The spice must flow.
Yo, that's what I was thinking of. Something coming up my butt.
All right. I guess I will rinse and repeat and try to
Sure.
hit this guy with the firebolt, and maybe he will die eventually.
The one on the right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Sweet.
He's dead.
Oh.
Nat 20, and yeah, where and how would you like this firebolt to finish off this charred skeleton?
I'm thinking it would just like sear right through its skull, and then the bones would just kind of fall into a heap.
Nice. So whatever necromantic magic is controlling this thing and keeping it in this state of undeath can no longer persist with the amount of damage it's taken, and it just crumbles and falls to the earth and is dead. Nicely done.
Before my turn ends, does anyone need healing? Everyone good still?
Chad could use a little touch up. Nothing big.
All right.
It's like a small.
I'll give you maybe I'll throw a couple. Let's do.
Couple of the D6s over Chad's way. Take a nice 7 of a heal, Chad.
Oh, thank you, man.
Cool. Super impressive battle, in my opinion, from Deacon so far. You killed a guy and you've done quite a bit of healing, so very nice. I'm really liking the Celestial Warlock so far.
Yeah, I'm liking the build.
Very cool. So after Deacon, it goes over to Chewie. Chewie, you are prone. You can spend half of your movement to stand up if you'd like, or you can continue to battle from laying down.
Just a second. I'm looking at something. Where is that? You're right. I have too many things on my hand.
Yeah, you have a ton of abilities. It's kind of amazing. Monks are like really crazy. Once they get to high levels, you can just fly around the battlefield and do whatever you want, pretty much. Attack like 40 times.
Yeah, monks are nuts.
They're cool. I really can't wait to check out that new monk subclass at some point. That astral, the way of the astral self, or whatever it's called. Super cool.
That sounds cool.
They get like astral arms that get added onto them, so they get even more attacks.
Oh, nice.
Does it give them range?
It does actually. Like gives them 10 feet of attack range, which is kind of silly.
That's so cool. Got my ghost arms punching.
Yeah. All
to
right.
do any just disengage or dodge edge, I'd have to be standing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to attack If I can't hit him with my hands, I'm gonna hit him with my feet.
So you're not gonna stand?
Nope, I'm gonna kick.
Okay, I believe if you try to make an attack roll from prone, you do have to do it with disadvantage.
Even if I've got advantage from being in the cross.
Oh, so no, that'll cancel each other out. It's just regular attacks.
Neutral.
Nice.
I'm neutral.
Somehow you're laying down, flanking this thing.
I got the upper hand. I got him, guys. Laying on the ground, just kicking.
No, actually, it's the upper foot.
All right, roll your attack, you pun monster.
Oh, jeez. I can't win.
So everyone else sees Chewie just like flailing around on the ground with his feet over here.
It's got like 8 or 9 punches.
Think of it as a big temper tantrum.
That makes sense. You're just getting all the bad rolls out of the way at the start of the adventure.
Yeah, there you go.
I hope so.
Yeah, we can't be rolling like that during the
I
load.
have a +7 to hit, and I get 12 and 13 again.
That is
Still, I'm
You've gotten
very
it so many
concerned
times.
for. I'm very concerned for whatever is coming up under the ground to.
I was
you
expecting, like,
apart
an
while you're
immediate
laying there. like-
Sandworm, you just whoop. Like Beetlejuice.
As you say that, and Chewie is kind of like kicking and flailing on the ground, you feel that rumble again, and it seems
I reminded the DM. I'm sorry.
It seems a little bit closer this time. It still feels like it's far off in the distance, and the ground is shaking a little bit. The boulders around you can see like some of the smaller pebbles that have settled over years on top of these boulders, like kind of tink and fall off onto the ground a little bit, and the dust kind of raises. And then it stops again. And let's see, Chewie, you are finished. It's over to Mac, who will run around and get a clear shot and try to frost this thing.
I would suggest standing up next round.
Yeah, I think so.
This
Is
time,
Mac,
what's that?
After me? Or I thought is Mac after me?
Oh,
or before?
Chad, you actually get to go. I apologize. I looked at the wrong
No,
number.
I was fine with letting him go like first. It's just like I just wanted
you're good.
All right. Yeah, I'll give him just another casual a triple attack.
Oh my god! You never see it coming.
No, they never do.
Oh, two of them.
I'll re-roll my third one. Okay?
Yeah, you do have advantage on that, so you can roll another one there.
Boom.
Yep, they're all gonna hit. So
Should go ahead and re-roll all of them just in
yeah,
case.
they're two just in case.
oh,
for 20.
that's true.
All right.
Could be a crit, yeah.
Okay, no
okay.
20.
Still
But
hits.
still, triple hit.
Jesus.
Okay, so this is gonna be damage. 7 plus 6 plus 5. So that's 18 plus 24.
All right, 18 plus 24 is more than 37, so it's dead.
Yay! We did it.
Very nice. So now
I'll
that they're
stand up.
yeah, okay. Now that you're no longer restricted by the crazy battle movement turn system, you quickly stand up, and I'll just let you guys know that you did 300 points of damage across those 3 gladiator skeletons. So nicely done, everybody. They all had 100 HP each. And as you finish them off, they all kind of slump to the ground, and you almost can like feel the like dark, like necromantic energy that was like keeping them all together kind of drift away, and the air in this like wasteland kind of lightens a little bit, even though it's still like this deserty, salty, dark, grim kind of feeling. And that rumble happens again, and it seems to be getting closer, and you actually feel like something rumble like just beneath your feet, and then it passes by, and the movement stops, and it like when it goes beneath you guys, it shakes so badly it actually feels like there's an earthquake happening right to you guys this time.
Okay, I know that wasn't Chewy. I know he didn't eat that much. There was some spicy food on the ship, but like this is beyond spice. Did anyone else feel that, or you just why are you guys looking at me like this?
Mac.
I'm probably trying to like climb up on top of one of those rocks right now.
Yeah,
Where
Mac
are you
is like
going?
clinging to one of the stalagmites, and he's just like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, like I'm so small that one of these boulders tips over, I'm dead. You guys, we gotta keep moving. We gotta get out of here.
You guys want to jog the rest of the way?
Mac is all for it. He's like, yeah, let's
I could
hightail it.
put Mac on my back. He's a small boy.
He like happily obliges and hops up.
Yeah, we don't want you touching the ground. You'll be the easiest to get scooped up or fall into a quicksand hole, and we won't even notice. We'll turn around and you'll be gone like 2 miles back.
He's like, say no more. I'm convinced, and he hops up on your back.
All right, you guys ready to run?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah,
my speed's 45. I can run.
This is like giant bugbear just like hauling across the desert landscape super fast. I like it. So
Got that long gait.
yeah, let's go back.
Think of Flash.
Back to the
Thinking about them long legs.
Back to the world map here. So you guys are probably maybe about a quarter of the way through the wastes here on the map, going towards the western side of things, and you see occasionally in the like super far off distance some like more like shambling figures and shadows, but none of them seem to be heading towards you. And as you just run across the landscape, it begins to get dark, and it's getting closer to nightfall. You landed here on the coast with the ship and Phil and the crew, and it was probably like mid-morning, and you've been traveling for the better part of the entire day now. It's getting close to sunset, and occasionally you'll see those shambling figures. You'll see more outcroppings of boulders and these dead trees and whatnot, and you don't see a whole lot of other life or action at all. Maybe the occasional small like burrowing lizard or something like that. And it kind of is surprising that there's dead trees there. Maybe there used to be some life and some water here, and you don't really see any animals. And after running for maybe 30 minutes to an hour after that battle, you begin to feel the rumbling again, and it seems like it's actually coming from behind you this time. And you'll run for a distance, maybe a half a mile or so, and you'll feel this great rumble, and it's so heavy and hectic that you actually like have to stop running and hold yourself and brace yourself from this earthquake that's happening. And it stops, and you guys like stand there for a second and kind of look at each other and like get your bearings again, and then start running again. And every few minutes it just happens again and again and again, and then it stops. And right when you're about to start your running again, this time it happens, and you feel this like great shift, and the tremor and trembling happens again, and it like passes underneath you, it almost feels like, and then you hear the rumbling in front of you on the horizon, like a great distance ahead of you, and you see this group of figures that is running towards you, and you can see them. There's a couple of figures that seem to be on some type of mounts, and some people that are like running beside them, and there's this group of people that are just trying to make their way towards you or the coast behind you or whatever shelter they can. And you can see them maybe about a half a mile in the distance, just running, and this trembling and shaking is happening. And what do you guys do?
Can we like see if they're like, do they look like undead, or do they look like
make an investigation check, and anyone that wants to can as well.
Okay.
Just to see if you can make out these figures while the trembling and shaking is happening, while you guys are trying to brace yourselves and see what's going on here. Again, Chewy, it seems like your height advantage helps you. You grab a boulder to hang on to, but you can see over the top of it, and you see this group that's running towards you, and it seems like they appear to be living. There are no zombies there. They're hectically running this group together. One of them is like dragging a child behind them, and there's two like smaller people that look to maybe be dwarves or halflings or something on like some small mounts, maybe donkeys or like large dogs or something, and you can't really tell. And at the front of the group, this great large dragonborn man with like really fancy looking armor and this giant axe that he just like has slung on his back is just like heading up the group, and every few like giant strides he'll like turn and like try to like pull someone ahead and keep throwing them ahead of this rumbling that seems to be chasing them now, and they're just heading towards you guys like as vigorously as they can.
You guys want to like shout at them?
It looks like they need help, but I'm not sure what we can do with the rumbling. You know, if there's
Okay,
something
well
that
then. Okay, well then we should reach out to them, let them know. We're obviously fighting the same danger, so the best thing we could do is share information or at least help each other.
they could probably seek sanctuary on the ship that's waiting for us, right?
Ooh, I like that
Yeah, I was
idea.
thinking that. But let's go meet up with them. Hey guys, over here, guys.
So you start to
I
shout
hold
out to these
my
people.
long arm up and say, "Here."
I'm just waving both arms, you know.
Let me see if I can
Like,
get this.
over here.
I yell out.
Nice. So you let me see if I can get you guys positioned on here properly. Oh, no.
So the one that we were hearing in the area where we were just at, did it sound like it went off in the direction of where they're coming from?
Yeah,
now,
so you
or-
kind of felt like that like weird like sliding tremor feeling, like it almost like swam underneath you through the earth and like circled around, and then it's like chasing them towards you now. It almost feels like to you guys. Get you all positioned here on the map. I don't know where you guys want to be at. You can pick wherever you like down here. Oh, this rumbling has created a clone of Chewie somehow.
Wow, there's so much rumbling. I see double. No, literally, I see double.
All right, and Mac. Oh my God, giant Mac. Tiny little
Big Mac. It's a Big Mac.
All right, tiny little Mac down there, and of course,
Julio.
Yeah.
Big Mac.
So, you guys are some configuration. You can be wherever you want when something actually happens, but you're reaching out and screaming towards this group. You said, like trying to get them to notice you and run towards you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so the group, like the man in the lead, this giant dragonborn man in armor, the closer he gets, I don't think either of any of you guys would really notice him. Mac starts to like shout towards him and starts yelling like, Phillips, and he notices him. And Chad, you probably would recognize this as like Commander Phillips, the guy who was like the head of the like militia of the city of Chance, who originally kind of seemed to be in command on the like bad guy side of Chance, but then when you escaped the city, he tried to go back and save people and help people after the Lich kind of took over. And you recognize him heading up this group, and they're like running towards you guys as fast as they can, and he spots you and just points towards you guys while he's like running and still like grabbing people and throwing them forward as much as he can. You know, every chance he gets, he'll like hurl one of the smaller people like 20 feet ahead and then keep running and catch up and throw them again. And he's just like trying to like wrangle this whole group and run from this rumbling. And eventually the group catches up to all of you, and they get what's that?
I'm thinking we need to kind of like relay race this, where we like start running in the same direction they are until they catch up, and we're like keeping pace.
Okay, if you guys want to do something like that. So you.
I mean, I don't think we want to just like stand there and watch them like go past us and then like face whatever god awful thing is chasing them.
So what will happen here, and we this is going to be an awesome place to end it here because we don't have too much time left. 1 second here. See if I can find a good token for Phillips here. Not a lot of good Dragonborn tokens on Roll20. I need to get some of my own made, I think. Sure. This is Captain Commander Phillips. He's got some crazy leg kick going on out here.
I was gonna say he looks like a monk.
He's like
a permanent dragon kick.
Yeah, he's like running with a leg kick. So the group like gets within actual like earshot of you guys, even if you like start to turn to like run with them to like match their pace and start running away from the rumbling while maybe trying to communicate like what's going on with them. And as they get within, maybe 20-30 feet or yards or whatever of you guys, the ground opens up in the middle of this giant like valley of rocks and rubble and dead trees and stuff, and the ground opens up and out of it pops what I think Chewie kind of saw this one coming and he guessed a purple worm, but this giant zombified worm like creature that is just like when it comes out of the rock and the rock like scratches against its flesh, you can see part of its flesh like peel back, and this giant like circular like saw blade drill bit of a mouth just like tunneling through the rock erupts from the earth in the middle of this valley, and one of the smaller like halflings that was riding on a dog gets swallowed up by the like zombified purple worm and like falls into its like maw and is swallowed whole, and the worm like reels around and looks like it's like turning to face all of you and start to dive back into the earth and go for another round. And that's where we'll end it for this week.
I called it. I knew it was the sandworms.
Yeah. I knew it.
Well, nuts.
Cool. I'm excited. That was a good dramatic place to end it for today.
I'm not punching this thing.
Maybe punch it, dude. Punch it in the mouth.
Can definitely try.
You'll hit it.
So
Yeah.
Guarantee you'll hit it first try.
Just kick it instead of punch it. It'll be fine.
So
Yeah.
before we go here, welcome Luca. Thank you for showing up, even if it's the end. It's all good, man. Thanks, Papa Hal, for being here. Before we go, I want to just quickly, like, I know we didn't get through a whole lot of action. We did just one battle encounter and stuff. It was mostly dialogue and exposition and stuff this time with the introduction of the new character, which I thought was really cool. How did you guys feel everything went? Deacon, how was your first session here with the campaign? Any concerns, questions, comments?
No, it was great. It was a lot of fun. I definitely realized after we finished creating the character that I completely screwed up, like allocating skill point or not skill points, but the ability scores. But that's all right.
You can feel free to change whatever you want on your character sheet if you would like off stream, and we can go back to it next week.
All right, I might do that.
That's totally fine. Like, it was the first session. Like, I can totally see some leeway being needed for the first session with a new character. Just want you to be happy with it.
I realized afterwards that unlike most characters that I make, I have absolutely no need for strength.
Right.
So I was just like, what was I thinking? I made it so hard.
While you were building it, I was like, man, maybe he's going for like a melee warlock or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, that's what I usually do. Yeah.
Because you have like on hit like radiant damage plus like necrotic damage if you're in your form, so you can just get like all this like bonus melee damage. Like, whoa, this guy's gonna be a crazy healer.
Cool. Well, yeah, feel free to switch stuff around and get happy with it, and then we'll go back to it next week and check out what you changed, and hopefully we can figure out those spells on here. But it seemed to be working fine with the way that you were doing everything. So
yeah, we'll figure it out.
Cool. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I think we had an awesome time. I'm sure that these guys appreciated having such a badass like healer plus DPS support in the party. So that's a nice addition.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, considering we'd be dead by now.
100%. And I mean, you're already better than Max, so like, better That's a huge plus.
And that's kind of a
Poor
low
Mac.
bar, I think.
Well, this is also our first time seeing him in combat, to be honest. We're like, let's
Mac
give
is
him a
offended.
chance, and then he does like frostbolt like 3 times.
Poor Mac.
He did his
Like,
pretty sweet
He
fireball.
tried.
He did one
Yeah, the
fireball,
fireball was nice.
but then after he did like 14 damage, with frostbolt. Like total, like the whole.
True. Well,
He tried.
We'll see what Mac has in store for next time. So
I think he's got a few more tricks.
thank you guys so much for playing today. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. We will be back next week as long as everyone is available again to continue on with the adventure and see what Commander Phillips and his refugee crew has to say about this purple zombie worm that seems to be attacking you guys.
Oh yeah. Also, one more thing I just want to give a grats to Deacon because he legit did. I think he did the most HP influence in the whole fight.
Certainly,
For
pretty...
like damage and
Definitely
healing,
healing.
like the amount of numbers that he like
I
influenced
don't
in
know
hit
about
points.
damage, but
I think combined, I think he just did the most HP
It was
influence.
definitely an impressive first showing for the new character.
I was
excited
not
to see
expecting that.
where it goes. I've always loved Warlocks. I think that their spellcasting is super cool. It's my favorite. Like all of their spell slots are just max level spell slots, but they don't get as many of them. I think that's a really interesting kind of way to do that. So I think they're really cool, and I really like the Celestial thing. It's not just like an edgelord, mind flayer warlock type guy or whatever. It's actually got some interesting story elements to it, so it's really cool. Super excited to see where everything goes with this adventure. It's going to be quite an epic one. This one should take you guys all the way to level 8 before you head back to the town. So we got a lot of stuff coming up, and I've got to get to work on creating the rest of this adventure. No stream tomorrow night. The podcast will be delayed until next week. Tomorrow is my 5-year anniversary with my girlfriend.
Woo!
So we're going to go and celebrate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, congrats, man.
She also plays some D&D with me in real life every once in a while. She plays an awesome elf rogue character, and she's super cool. So we're going to go and spend the evening hopefully having some dinner and some good times, and then we'll be back on Sunday for some magic, and then we'll be back next week for all the good D&D stuff. So thank you guys again for playing. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and that'll be it. I'll sign off, and we'll get back to the stream and say some parting words, and then we'll call it a day. So thank you guys very much, and we'll